Hey everybody, we are here. I don't know why my mic arm is like so visible. Okay, somewhat better. Hey, we are here, we are live. I know it's like Friday and not Saturday, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Reading chat. Someone said I just got back from work. Yeah, back right in time. Someone said I have a horrible migraine, but happy to have some sort of distraction. Oh, sorry to hear about a migraine, which is no fun. But I'm happy to provide a distraction. Oh my gosh. So it's a Korean barbecue at the house is such a fun time. It does sound like a fun time. So another one. Exactly. We truly cannot be stopped. Yeah, I just literally have another topic. So I'm here streaming again. So it's not you streaming when I need to go to the gym. Hey, the stream will still be here, but simultaneously the gym will still be here too. I also have to go to the gym and I have to go running, but here we are. Here we are. Reading chat. So I have to leave for work in an hour, so I'm going to listen for how long I can. Okay, don't worry, because I will be recording. So I think probably this should show up in a video soon enough. When? The world may never know. Someone said, I hope you're doing well. I am. I'm doing really well. I'm just having fun. So I literally just finished catching up on another one of your videos and then saw you were live. Yay. Yes, I am. Also, I wanted to answer this comment. I usually don't answer comments, like not one of y'all's comments, but from my video that I literally just posted. I don't know if this person's here. If they're not, it's fine. But they said, I'm sorry to interrupt the conversation. It's okay. You can put whatever you want in my comments. I was just thinking, does the lip piercing hurt? I can't help but imagining it accidentally hooked to something and pulled away. I'm really sorry for the irrelevant question. One sweat drop emoji. Anyways, the answer is no, piercing hurts once it's healed properly. So yes, it hurts to get initially, and in the process of healing, yes, it can be really cringe if you accidentally like bump it on something or snag it. This specific kind of jewelry cannot really be pulled out easily because it has ends attached to the barbell that are much wider than the actual piercing itself. So I don't really have to worry about that. But yeah, I definitely accidentally bumped it fresh when it was fresh and it doesn't feel nice. So that's my answer. That's my answer to this person's comment. Maybe they'll see it, maybe they won't. So this is my first time watching you live. I was so shocked to see you go live. Yeah, that's the fun thing about streaming on like Friday, Monday, or Wednesday, which I don't typically make a habit of. But when I do, sometimes new people are able to see me. Maybe ones who aren't able to catch me on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays. So it's fun. It's very fun. Someone said 3 ads before this live. Well, hey, you won't get any during the live. You can. That's the fun thing is it's always there, like the button. I could just hit it right now and whoever doesn't have ad block would get an ad, but it's no fun. But I feel like a pre-roll ad or 2 or 3 is a small price to pay. Someone says so many people joining for the first time. I'm happy for you all. And for me, I'm happy to see you. This episode, will you ever get an eyebrow piercing? Me, no, personally. Mostly because, okay, listen, chat. I take a risk anytime I do anything that is like visible on camera prominently. There was like maybe a small possibility that my double vertical labret piercings could have gone awry, but it would have been like not super noticeable, maybe an irritation bump or something like that. This is also part of the reason that I got my nostril piercing before returning to YouTube, because I didn't want that healing process to be visible. But if you get an eyebrow piercing, first of all, they look a little gnarly. They look a little angry when you first get them for some people. And secondly, they can be tricky to heal. And an eyebrow piercing that is like either angry or possibly rejecting, because those are surface piercings. I mean, these are also surface piercings, but because those are surface piercings with not a lot of skin, for some people, they can be a lot likelier to reject. And I really can't be on camera. I can't be on camera having like possibly rejected piercings, or all the comments are just going to be like, yo, is bro's eyebrow okay? So I have to hold off on like the slightly riskier piercings. Unfortunately. Someone says, I think his eyebrow scar is slay enough that he doesn't need an eyebrow piercing. And you know what? Oh, that's the wrong eyebrow. I agree with that. We have a little bit of visual interest here with the eyebrow scar. It's never going to go back. It'll always be there, so we'll take it. Even though I will say, low key, tell me it wouldn't be crazy to get like a matching piercing on the other side. And this one's just blank. And then right here, you just have like the piercing. I think that would be super dope. Somebody said, what do you think about the Duthie versus Mark Insco debate? We talked about that yesterday. I don't think much about it. I have an empty brain. Empty brain. Someone said, please share what your next mod might be. I think I'm going to get text tattooed under, like on my lower stomach, like the whole thing, just under my belly button. Big word tattooed across my waist. And I'm sure that's going to feel awesome. that would be my next one. Someone said, as a senior, to see how much AI has taken over the school system is so depressing. Oh yeah, wait, I literally just realized that this is Eladiel's first stream because I'm live on a Friday, which doesn't usually happen, and I haven't even explained how my streams work. So if you've never watched any of them, what you're getting right now is how the first 30 minutes or so go, which is typically just a yap session, literally me talking about any and everything. And then around the 30-minute mark, that's when we will actually get into today's topic, which is about AI in Hollywood. I know there's been a lot of AI videos, but like I said, I do try to slightly approach it from a different angle each time. We've talked about AI in influencing, talked about AI in the podcast space, AI in writing, and now I would like to talk about how for some reason they're trying to shoehorn it into a movie theater, and it's actually really sus because a bunch of actors and like directors are suddenly embracing it despite seemingly having a problem with it beforehand. So they must have figured out they can make money from it instead of losing money. It's all very cringe. Very, very cringe. Someone said I wouldn't be able to stop my stomach from quivering. Well, I already have had my stomach tattooed, and it's not an easy thing. If you have to like breathe in and then well, the way I did it essentially was like I would breathe in first, and then as the tattoo machine is going on the skin, I would try not to breathe, but if any, it would just be out slowly. And then like after the artist lifts the machine away, you can breathe again, and then it's again. Like that was a pretty terrible process, and I had to do that for 4 hours, by the way. But I will say this, my artist did not miss a single line. They did not flub a single line. They pulled every single line straight or curved or however it should have been. And so it worked, even though it felt very cringe. But you know what? There's also nothing wrong with like breathing intentionally for 4 hours. it felt kind of nice, actually. By the end of it, I was like, wow, I feel so in tune with my body. I mean, the thing that I was in tune with was mostly pain, but it's okay. Someone said, what music do you got on repeat right now? I Love It, I Love It, I Love It by Bella K. I don't know. I don't even know how I found that song, but maybe I heard it playing somewhere and I was like, oh, this is catchy. And now I'm obsessed. I think it's really well written, and I like the vocal performance a lot. It's great. And there's also live performances of it, and I really like how the singer sings. She can sing. It's great. Someone said 4 hour stomach tattoo. I want to know what it is. I want to know what love is. It's Pharaoh's horses. I've shown it off before. It's cute. It's just like 3 horses. Someone said, D'Angelo making me choose between this or foreign stream. Well, do foreign streams remain after he finishes streaming? Because if not, you should go watch that. If you want to watch mine, it'll still be here when I'm done. But I don't know if he archives his. So that's your main thing. Make that decision. You should go hop over there if he's streaming and you don't want to miss it. Someone said hi from Armenia. It's 8:18 p.m. Hey, from America. It's what is it? It's 12:18, I guess. Yeah, that's so interesting. Someone said I just got here. What are we talking about? We are talking about AI in Hollywood. I know we've talked about it in a bunch of other places, but now we're going there with it. Boo. Hold on, I'm trying to find something. All right, so this is a picture of me when I had literally just gotten it done. So I'm a little swollen, a little angry. Wait, okay. There you go. Look, that's my stomach. You can not really see, but like my belly button's like right there. And then Those are the horses. That's a terrible job, actually. I did a terrible job of showing that, but I think you got the point. It's a great tattoo. So a foreign stream is literally the first suggested video after this. Yeah, if he doesn't archive his lives, you can watch either. But if it's gonna disappear, you should go check it out right now. Someone said seeing AI in my workplace makes me sick. Yeah, so many people are saying that they're being like essentially forced to use AI in their jobs, which I just think is incredibly cringe. Incredibly cringe. So someone right there just now said I'm being forced to use AI at work, and it's awful. Yeah, it's not good. It's really not. reading. Someone said I don't consider myself much of an AI hater, but the ways people are using it is insane. AI itself is neutral, it's just a technology, but the companies that are distributing this technology are incredibly unethical and destructive, and the majority of the uses are completely pointless. AI as a tool for actually advancing things that help people, like detection of certain like actual cancers or other things that are great like that, should continue happening. I'm certainly no Luddite, but all of this generative AI, there's quite literally no way of doing it ethically with the tools that are currently available to us in the mainstream. So I think it sucks. Someone says then the AI works worse than when we did it. That kind of reminds me of when, like, during the pandemic, a bunch of places allowed people to work from home, and then productivity was actually like better, but then companies started demanding that people return to office, even though, like, why would you do that? If it doesn't even work better? It's just annoying. It's cringe. Someone says we have AI coworkers with names and everything. They have their own human manager to oversee them. Okay, that is literally insane. What? That is so odd. So deeply odd. Two members of my family work in IT, and a lot of their jobs right now is fixing whatever new mess the company's AI made. That's just, it sounds so incredibly counterproductive the way it's being used. Like, it's all just a lie at this point. Someone says so bad in the public school system. That makes me sad. That's just sad to hear. They have to justify paying the rent for the office space. Yeah, literally. Someone said I'm 30 and in community college, and the amount of AI pushing makes me sad. I want to use my brain. That's just ridiculous. Yeah. I've also seen a lot of people saying that for school assignments, they've been made to use AI. And I'm just like, school assignments? What? Is this the one place we should maybe be coming up with things on our own? Lord. All right. Well, it sounds like you're all quite primed for this discussion, which we'll have in a few minutes, because, like, it's been on the brain a lot. I also, in my own place of work, which is right here, right now, where you're watching me, I see it a lot. Definitely many of my coworkers, metaphorically, are real big on AI. And I'm just like, ha ha ha, but what if we didn't? We don't have to. Oh, and you know what's really weird? I am literally seeing creators that, like, I'm acquainted with get their entire likenesses ripped off by other people using AI to clone their voice, which sounds insane, but I'm being serious. Like, using 11 Labs tools or whatever it is to take a bunch of people's videos, train an AI model on it so that it sounds like them speaking, and then just putting content on their own channel. And they're doing this with channels that are, like, faceless a lot of the times, and people don't even know until a video pops up that seems similar to theirs. They click in and they're like, wait, that's not me speaking. So that's incredibly odd. One terrible usage of AI. That is so bad. Someone say AI thumbnails also suck really bad. I think AI thumbnails are like a big, what's the word I want to use? Like, oversight for a lot of people right now, where they're, like, okay with it, and I'm like, you got to stop using these thumbnails, dog. You really do. Like, what happened to just being able to Photoshop things? There's so many AI thumbnails, even from creators who don't use them for other things, and I'm just like, it's okay though. It's okay. Someone said BoJack the show was right about AI coming into Hollywood. Yeah, it's here, unfortunately. Someone says I was in video game development, so they made us make maps for models with AI. That's wild. Yeah, what even is school if they're not going to teach you yourself how to do things? I think what's interesting about this is, like, it's not even like it's guaranteed that these tools will always be available. So if you are being taught to do it through this specific process, but then one day ChatGPT isn't even a thing, what are you supposed to do if you never actually learned the skill? Very, very odd. Someone said, I wonder if kids who graduated now will have less valued degrees when there's a future backlash. I personally already feel I personally already feel like degrees are less valued because like I don't know, when I was a kid, it was definitely a thing where everybody was telling me and everybody I knew, you have to go to school. You have to go to college. It wasn't even a question. So like almost every single human I know who is my age has a college degree, and none of our degrees actually matter because degrees don't like set us apart in any meaningful way. So that kind of sucks a little bit. Not sucks as in like I don't think more people should be educated. I just think the big lie of like, yes, by doing this you're going to guarantee that you have a job. That's why I was told to get a degree as a child. It was literally like, do this and then you'll never really have to worry about getting a job. By having a degree you will be hireable, but I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true, unfortunately. Uh-oh. Someone says having a degree doesn't mean as much as they used to. Yeah. That being said, I still genuinely believe it's a good thing, especially, by the way, if you don't have to pay for education, which nobody should. Like, continuing education is awesome. Being exposed to all of these like new perspectives and stuff, that's a positive, but maybe not if we have to go into debt for the promise of jobs that nobody is even offering us. I don't know about that. I really, really don't. Someone said work experience matters the most anyway. Yeah, it does. Someone said, oh, actually, this reminds me of one of my professors who literally said, you're not going to get a job unless you use AI. And unless you have a fine arts degree, you'll be replaced. So just use it. That's great. That's a fantastic job to spread to a bunch of impressionable college students. Oh, man. Someone says, I have a foreign policy master's from Boston University, and now I'm just trying to get a high school teaching job. Yeah, no, like, degrees, they serve a purpose, but not the one that we were told about, for real, for real. Okay, wait, this one's actually scary. Someone said, this reminds me of when I tried to apply for a pharmaceutical internship at a company, and they said they were going to assess my interview with AI. Pharmaceutical? Okay, maybe the last place I would ever want to see like generative AI, this mistake making large language machine garbage would be in medical in any sort of way. That's scary. That's like I'm smiling, but out of fear. It's a no for me, dog. No, thank you. Someone said, I'm so grateful my family could afford college. I would be such an emotionally stunted person had I not been exposed to so many other ideas and people. Yeah, okay, hold on. Not saying you have to go to college. Not saying if you don't go to college, you're going to be emotionally stunted, because many people find their like character development through other means. But for me personally, I absolutely was just kind of like a shell of a person, and also unfortunately very conservative before I went to school. But then thankfully I got indoctrinated by like the woke leftist agenda in college, and now we're still here going strong. At 27, I mean, I've been out of school for like a long time, like 8 years. So yeah, shout out college for exposing me to literally any other frame of thinking besides what was popular in South Central Texas, which was nothing good. Someone said, truthfully, I went to college too young and didn't make the most of it. Yeah, I feel similarly too, though, because like I graduated when I was 19, so what was the point? It didn't help me like get a job. It didn't really do anything. I was just still almost a child. So stupid. Someone said it was, is it still worth it to study art in college? That depends on a lot of things, for sure. I would, yeah, you got to research pretty hard on that one. Someone said AI is ruining literature and I hate it. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit in our stream about Shy Girl and like the backlash. It was kind of a mix of like the book seeming like it probably may have been AI generated, but then there was a lot of backlash or witch hunting stuff happening as well. And then you had writers who are not using AI getting their stuff run through AI detection tools, which are literally just another form of AI that also makes mistakes, and getting falsely labeled 100% AI generated. That was just such a mess. And believe it or not, that's a completely different AI topic than what I have for you today, which is AI in Hollywood. So like, where do we go from here? Someone said, I just finished my degree and I'm really struggling to find a job. Yeah, the job market as it is currently, I'm scared. I don't know what's going on. Someone said, what did you study in college? Me? I studied mass communication with a concentration in digital film and television production, which may sound like exactly what I'm doing right now, being digital video production, but actually, no. I still had to teach myself most of what I know. But I'm so glad I went to school, though, because I did pick up some useful things. Someone said I got a good job and I'm grateful, but film is a very unstable career. Yeah, I know that from just like me thinking that was the path I was going to go into with my degree. Someone said the celebs who were all doing Gemini advertisement brand deals. Yeah, it's cringe. So much AI ads. So many. And it's unfortunate because I know when I post this video, whenever that is, I'm also just going to get a bunch of ads for AI on it. And then all the top comments are going to be like, did anybody else get like AI ads on this anti-AI video? What can you really do at this point? Someone's saying it's starting to feel like you need a master's now, but with AI, who knows? Man, I don't know. I do not know. Someone said I have a similar degree and it's hard to find a job because my skills are too broad, I think. Yes. Yeah, that was my main problem. Like, mass communication is a very wide field and it means a bunch of things. And like, yes, it was a concentration, but also digital film and television production. Those two things being combined automatically kind of set me up for failure because like they're very deeply different. TV shows are not made the same way that movies are made, not even a little bit, and vice versa. So it's not even like I could essentially point to one thing and be like, yeah, I would be really good at that, please hire me. It's more like broadly I know the ropes, kind of. I don't know, it really sucked. Someone said hi from the Ville. The job market is atrocious in the Sand Hills region. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, no. So someone said cries in having a master's and still not finding a job. But then you know what's really annoying though? You know it's like really bad. I think I talked about this in a video a long time ago. But like people will also say nobody wants to work anymore. Nobody wants to work anymore. What do you mean? Nobody wants to hire anymore. That's what's actually happening. I see it in my own life, just looking around at the people around me. I'm like, I think a lot of people, maybe not happy, but a lot of people will definitely be willing to work because I can see them searching for jobs. But where is it going? Reading chat. Someone said in 2026 your only options are to use AI, take GLP-1s and sports gamble. That's what ads would have you think. Reading chat. Someone said I just found your YouTube channel. I watched your 143 Katy Perry reaction. I love it. Could you react to Flash and Core by Yaren Bake? Maybe not. I don't do a lot of album reactions, but I will say if you did like that one, stay tuned because I will definitely do at least one album reaction this year. I know that's like not a big promise, but at least one on some album, maybe, perhaps. We will see. Someone said nobody wants to pay a proper wage either. Yeah, exactly. Forget like nobody wants to work. What about nobody wants to pay? Someone said, I think there are expectations older people have for how younger people are meant to approach a job, but they never taught us those rules, so we're set up to fail. Yeah, it's not like you just go through the public school system having like the soft skills that are actually necessary to stand out in like a job application process. Or I know I certainly did not. So that's a bit cringe. Uh-oh. Someone said, I will say as a hiring manager who believes in giving people a chance, some people want to stand around and make a bag for it. Well, if only it was easier to distinguish between those people and, you know, other people. But also simultaneously, I do think that if pay was higher, a lot of people would probably put more effort into their jobs. Also, I have beef with hiring managers. Maybe not you specifically. But like probably not you. I'm sure you're open-minded and wonderful, but like hiring managers cringe me out because I feel like there's a lot of them that just straight up would not hire me unless I made significant alterations to my appearance, which makes me sad. Like I happen to be lucky enough to have a job where the way I look doesn't matter at all. But like I know that there's a lot of places in which these would have to go and this would have to go and this would probably have to go, and this right here might be a problem. That might be a problem, and I would have to make sure to keep this like buttoned up, and I may have to keep my hands to myself. And I'm just like, I literally do not understand why hiring managers, or like not hiring managers because they're literally just doing their job for the company, but I literally do not understand why companies are literally allowed to discriminate against you because of how you look, if it happens to be like alt choices that you've made. It's very cringe. There's quite literally no difference between who I am now and who I was back when I didn't have so much as like an earring in one of my ears. Someone said I might have to get a job at Hot Topic then. Yeah, there's definitely places I could work looking the way I do, and especially like in other states it's sometimes not that big of a deal, but jobs can be so cringe about your personal appearance when you're not even doing anything that's like unprofessional. Someone said caring about hair, tattoos, and piercings in 2026 is so dumb. It really is. Someone said it's arbitrary. Someone said, Danzo, you could teach. Teachers are tatted up. I probably could teach. I feel like I would be a good teacher, kind of, like to a point. It would have to be the right age range, because I do definitely think there's maybe, like, if the kids are too young, we'll leave that to the people of this world who have more patience, the Miss Rachels of this world, who have infinite patience. But maybe if it was older kids and I put the work in and just went to school again for teaching and then grinded, maybe I could be a decent teacher. Or maybe I could do like college. Maybe I could go to school again and then become a professor. That would be kind of interesting. Reading chat. Someone said I don't trust people without piercings or tattoos. That's kind of funny. There's certain jobs where I wouldn't trust you if you didn't have those. Like, say, if you were a piercer or tattoo artist and I don't see any piercings or tattoos, I'm going to be like, hold on a second. What's going on here, buddy? What are we doing? Someone said I think LA is in a hard time right now. I wouldn't be surprised. Truly not. Someone said, I really don't understand why how you look affects how you work, especially if you don't have a customer facing role. So lucky to work in a place that doesn't give an F. Yeah, no, like, even at that, I agree with you. I also still feel like low key, we just need to start scaring the customers. I definitely understand that the weird alt freaks like me have to get put in the back. We can't really have customer facing roles when you show up to the receptionist desk and I'm like, hey, how may I help you? Obviously, that's not what people are looking to find. But how are people ever going to get used to it if we don't actually just start hiring normal looking people? Like, I refer to myself as a normal looking person because I'm just as normal looking as anybody else. I really wish someday we could push back against that. I think also this is going to sound stupid, but I'm being serious. Part of my philosophy with a lot of the mods I get is like, I feel like because I have actually enough privilege through my job to get away with this, I really would like to get away with this and normalize it for people. I actually want like just your average Joe, maybe even someone who's a lot older than me, to click into my video and see this. And then just see that I'm also still like, I don't know, sane, intelligent, human, not stupid. Like, I feel like the vast majority of people who get into alt stuff are absolutely just normal people. So yeah, sometimes when I do things that are a little weird or a little hyper visible, I'm like, bro, I'm doing this because I want people to see me. I want to show up at like these various places. I want to show up and sign for things and purchase things and exist in society while looking the way I do, and have people be like, oh wow, that dude wasn't like a criminal or like straight up tweaking. I want that to happen, but maybe we'll get there someday. All right, anyways, it's been about 30 minutes, so I feel like we could start getting into this. I feel like the chat is stuck. Oh, someone said I'm in pharmacy, and when I started we weren't allowed to have visible tattoos or unnatural hair colors. Yeah, like, dog, we're not gonna like, I'm not gonna distrust you because I show up and you have cool hair as a pharmacist, but a lot of people will. But I still think it's a self-fulfilling thing. It's because we never see pharmacists who have these cool things in the most part. All right, pulling up my second monitor. Some said old ladies love my colored hair though. Like they always say, I wish I had that when I was younger, and it always motivates me to keep doing what I do. Yeah, that's the crazy thing too. Like there are also a lot of old people who literally don't care. Also, shock horror, there's a lot of alt older people as well. We don't suddenly like disappear because we cross a certain age. I do feel like on average your older people may be less likely to do these things because of social stigma that was even heavier when they were younger. But like, yeah, I think this idea that like no person over insert age is ever going to like patronize your establishment because you had somebody there whose hair was like blue is just not really true. It's truly not true. Someone said, I love that my site director has purple hair. People who have purple hair or dyed hair at all are awesome. Literally, like justice for the blue-haired, woke SJWs. They were literally right all along. Okay. I am gonna stream to my second monitor. Yes. Okay, great. Then I am going to wait. I literally just realized. Whoop, I feel like I don't even have my outline on this computer. Hold on, chat. We're being goofy. I got to transfer this, or we're not going to be able to do it. So I love when kids see someone with colorful hair and their eyes light up, realizing that's a thing they can do. Yeah, like everybody loves it. Come on. If you don't, boo, the fun police. Or that's how I feel. That's just my opinion, though. Okay, wait, hold on. So I'm going to take my horse to the old town road. Let's see. Where are you? All right, give me a second, chat. We're transferring. We're doing an outline transfer, which I literally should have done before the stream. But you know what? It's Friday, and I do things my way. Oh, speaking of that, I have some upcoming topics, which I think are maybe interesting. I'm going to talk, I think I'm going to talk about the Met Gala and how I just think it's really cringe. And at this point, everybody who's going, I'm disappointed. I'm sorry. Even the literal mayor of New York is like, bro, I'm not going to the Met Gala, even though traditionally I think the mayor typically has an invite. There's been like a very long running, actually decently widely reported on boycott from protesters against the Met Gala due to it now being Jeff Bezos's pet project while he's currently using Amazon to power ICE, which is actually incredibly destructive and disturbing. And I just feel like I'm so over it. That being said, I probably still will have opinions on it, like what people are wearing, but I would like to frame that in the context of why are we still doing this? This is very odd. Like, I'm sorry, but showing up to the Met Gala in your ICE out pin when it's a Jeff Bezos event and Amazon services are powering ICE is stupid. I don't think that's just me saying like, oh no, you criticize society, yet you participate in society. You're a hypocrite. No, I don't think you have to go to the Met Gala. That's the thing. I don't think that's a thing that has to happen. So it's going to take place on Monday, and I've already seen there's going to be a bunch of celebrities there, and I kind of want to maybe potentially make a point about that if I can get away with it. Okay, I have the outline now, so I guess I'm going to forward it to myself. Someone said Met Gala more like Marie Antoinette Gala. Yeah, it's like the more of these happen, the less enamored I get. When I was younger, I certainly used to be like, whoa, this is amazing. Look at all these goofy fits. But now I'm just like, I just don't know. I don't understand. Some people will glaze their faves for the bare minimum. Like the Met Gala is one of the evils I fear. I would have to agree. People will even say like, well, it's a fundraiser. And I'm just like, dog, you got to miss me with this. You truly do. All right. So I'm going to pull this. All right. Eventually, I will actually be able to do this topic. And you'll be like, wow, it was real. He really did have an outline. I swear to God. Okay, let's see. Anytime I have to enter a password while I'm streaming, I get so paranoid because I'm like, you're streaming your password right now. Everybody's looking at you. Type in your Google password, which is to your YouTube channel. Someone's going to log in and hack you, but it's never happened. And I'm not going to say yet. I don't accept that kind of jinx in my life. Okay, there we go. I have my outline. Thank God. All right. I'm going to sign back out of this really fast, and then I think we should be Gucci. Or I would if I knew how to do that. Oh, wait. Okay, hold on. All right, I found it. All right, that wasn't too bad overall. I feel like that was only 3 or 4 minutes of me trying to find my actual outline. Someone said, just make sure you turn off the overhead cam on the other stream. You turned it off, right? Haha. I do not have any overhead cams, I think. Imagine I did. But, you know, I did used to have a recurring nightmare that people were watching me stream in my sleep because back when I was starting off on YouTube, I did not really have that many resources. And so I ran my entire channel out of my bedroom, and that would include my streaming camera, which actually pointed directly towards my bed, which was in frame at all times. And I'm just going to tell you, it was very scary, like waking up in the middle of the night and just seeing even a lens capped camera doesn't make it any less scary in the dark. It was that was scary. So I'm happy to have my own space specifically for YouTube now. Yay. All right, let's see. I think I'm going to drink some water. Start recording. All right, everyone say hi. Everyone say hi to YouTube. Someone said that used to be so normal. So many YouTubers started off in their bedrooms. I know I did. And probably most of the people who like I'm currently acquainted with. Everyone say hi. Say hi. Are we recording? All right. ChatGPT coming to a movie theater near you soon. And by soon, I mean it's actually already happening. And yes, it's every bit as disappointing as it sounds. I think this is a story of like ultimate hypocrisy because Hollywood actually, for a split second, when they thought AI was going to steal their job, was like super against it. But now that they've realized they can actually use it to make even more money, which is exactly what the richest people imaginable needed, they're going full steam ahead into this pro AI nonsense. And I just find it all to be super cringe. So let's take a look at that. Bro, my intros are getting so good. They're getting so good. I'm sorry. The intros are getting cracked. I'm happy. Hold on. Let me refresh my outline. All right. Why did I put caps lock on? That's not what I'm trying to do. All right. All right. So no more highs. We're good. Who here remembers Tilly Norwood? I do, unfortunately. It was like one of the dumbest things that happened. Let's find her. Her, by the way, is not a real person. So I was there. Ain't nobody finna gaslight me. I remember when this AI company tried to roll out their first AI actress, who is just this cringe fake person who had like her own agent, and people were pretending like she was actually going to get booked for roles or take up people's appearances on the red carpet or whatever. And a bunch of actors, a bunch of people in the industry put their foot down and were like, no, we don't want to be replaced. We don't want AI doing this. Now, I will tell you, as somebody who like is familiar enough with these tools, someone said it was such a non-story. There was literally no chance of a poorly done fake AI picture or video actually taking the place of someone like Reese Witherspoon. It very much was a non-issue, even though people reacted to it with such ire. And yet, I think now that people have realized that, they have shifted into a new tone on AI that I can only find to be odd. So let's go through some rapid fire examples. Let's see. I don't know how to use a mouse. Okay, here we go. Reese Witherspoon thinks AI is the future of filmmaking, even if we hate it. Just a few months ago. We got locked out. Hold on. I gotta pull some magic to get this full article without paying for it. Cut that part out of the video. Don't tell anybody. Okay, there we go. Reese Witherspoon wants women women specifically, to embrace artificial intelligence as media evolves with new technology. In an interview with Glamour, published Tuesday, the actress spoke about the importance of getting women involved in emerging industries, especially now with the advent of AI. It is so important that women are involved in AI because it will be the future of filmmaking. And you can be sad and lament it all you want, but the change is here, she said. It will never be a lack of creativity and ingenuity and actual physical manual building of things. It might diminish, but it's always going to be the highest importance in art and an expression of self. Turning? Yes, we should all be using and normalizing generative AI into a women's issue is actually kind of creative. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this is a first for me. When asked about how she uses AI, Witherspoon said she incorporates it into her life every day, especially with tools like vetted AI and Perplexity to help her with shopping, but also with making appointments and navigating the hospital system. She added, it's an incredible tool to save time. Then Rolling Stone just kind of gets into Hollywood is in a weird spot right now. It says the film industry has been grappling with the advent of AI in art. Last year, James Cameron officially joined the board of Stability AI, which is so unfortunate. At the time, the director called the intersection of generative AI and CGI image creation the next wave. I think, like, this is sad on a level that I could not possibly overstate, right? Somebody, let's pull him up. Somebody like James Cameron, whose movies are absolutely built upon the backs of so many visual effects artists who had to come up with so many innovative ways of showing the blue people that he's obsessed with. Which, by the way, tangent. I wish somebody would love me as much as James Cameron loves Avatar. I want somebody to be obsessed with me on the level of his obsession with telling these stories, because I do think you should be obsessed. It's a beautiful thing, but like, Jesus, I see what you've done for other people. Anyways, I feel like somebody whose work is so deeply built on other people's time in the visual effects industry now saying, actually, we're going to do a lot of Gen AI and that's going to be the next wave. It's like way to miss the point of how people were even making your movies in the first place. Of course, this article does say many filmmakers and actors have also criticized the use of it in the movie industry. Lisa Kudrow previously slammed Robert Zemeckis' Here, calling the time-jumping film an endorsement for AI. Kudrow said, it's not like, oh, it's going to ruin everything, but what will there be left? Forget actors, what about up-and-coming actors? They'll just be licensing and recycling. By the way, it's not just actors or up-and-coming actors. It's also dead actors who are now also part of this AI debate. We're going to get into it. It's very odd. Someone said, I guess there's going to be another strike coming up. God. Pulling up. Sorry, I'm getting back to my outline. So Reese Witherspoon went back and clarified her comments after, a lot of backlash. Reese Witherspoon confronts backlash over AI support. No one is paying me, she says, and computers should not replace humanity. Okay, I'm sorry. Nothing makes me think you're getting paid off more than you. It's viscerally insisting. Nobody's paying me to say this. All right, close. So this was, I think, part of her larger explanation of her point was not just like women should use AI because they're women. She continued talking about this, saying the AI revolution has begun and suggesting that women should learn about the technology because she said the jobs women hold are 3 times more likely to be automated by AI, yet women are using AI at a rate 25% lower than men on average. We don't want to be left behind, she says. I think, like, even were this to be the case, am I off for saying I don't think the answer is, okay, well then more people need to learn AI? Maybe I'm just being way too idealistic about it, but I certainly understand people's frustration with this. Someone say yes, women. Someone said, can we talk about the real Avatar? Avatar: The Last Airbender, much better media. um, Avatar: The Last Airbender is incredible. It's one of the greatest animated shows of all time, honestly. Okay, reading chat. Someone said, I don't know how she would think this is a great idea for her reputation. Yeah, someone said, let's get it, women, we use our brains. Nah, you gotta use AI so you don't get left behind. Anyways, Witherspoon said in a later post, well, I guess my AI post got people talking. Witherspoon wrote in an Instagram post on Tuesday, to be clear, no one is paying me to talk about this. I'm just a curious human. My kids are learning about AI tools, and I know a lot of founders who are vibe coding. Oh, God. The phrase vibe coding. Don't get me started on the phrase vibe coding. I think what I have to say about this is at this point, people are vibe everything. People are like vibe editing, vibe video making, vibe coding, vibe writing, vibe making their grocery lists. The vibes are off, I think, at this point. A lot of founders are vibe coding, and I hear about people using AI in every sector of business. But I want to acknowledge people's concerns. They are valid. I'm aware of the impact this could have. You think? On jobs across so many industries. I understand environmental concerns. I care deeply about local communities, and I have concerns about impending what is AGI? It's like artificial general intelligence, right? And I have concerns about impending AGI. I don't believe computers should replace humanity. I'm planning on learning as much as possible so that I'm educated about this technological revolution. If you want to learn with me, great, let's do this. If you don't, that's okay too. Living for this framing of me not agreeing with her is actually because I don't want to learn. I'm unwilling to expend brain power when you are simultaneously telling people to use a computer instead of their brain. Anyways, yeah, I think I'm kind of gonna Oh, wait. Variety says, Witherspoon isn't the only A-list actress talking about the AI revolution. Last week, Sandra Bullock said at the CNBC Changemaker Summit that AI is here and we have to understand it. We have to lean into it, Bullock says. We have to use it in a really constructive and creative way. Make it our friend rather than, we have to be incredibly cautious and aware of it because there are people who will use it for evil and not good. But I do feel there's a place for it. It's here. We have to just be friends in some dark way. I think it's the capitulation of it all that really stands out to me of, well, we can't fix it, so clearly our only choice is to adopt it in a meaningful and peaceful way. I think, like, not to be that friend that's too woke, but this actual complicity is at the root of so many of the problems in the world today. It's definitely not just an AI thing where people are like, well, the bad thing is here. Let's all just get used to it, I guess. Lord save me. All right, so moving on from Reese Witherspoon specifically. Somebody said, no, we do not. Yeah, there's a lot of we. I'm picking up a lot of we from these statements. We this, we that, we. Do y'all think this is Expedition 33? Like, this is a y'all problem. We is not in France, okay? Somebody said talking about AI like it's an alien invasion. That's what AI stands for, what a lot of people don't realize. All right, hold on. Moving on to my next thing. Somebody said suddenly French because what do you mean we monsieur? Exactly. Like, miss me with all of that. Miss me with Nintendo Wii. All right, anyways, but yeah, no, like, we are very, very quickly moving in this direction. Stability proudly announcing James Cameron, Academy Award winning filmmaker, joining the board of direction. Joining the board of directors. Capitulation. It's not just James Cameron, by the way. There's a bunch of directors that are doing this for some reason. Pulling. Someone said, I made it to a live stream. Let's go. Welcome. You are literally just in time. Because we only just started. Sean Levy, who I'm not gonna lie to you, I did have to Google, but you know what? This was literally one of my favorite movies as a kid. I'm sure it didn't age well, but Big Fat Liar, we had that one on VHS. I used to just watch that movie over and over and over when I was like 6. The main part I remember all these years later is when he turns blue. Bro in the back, I think like he takes he goes for a dip in the pool and then he comes out and he's like blue. Did anybody watch that movie? Or was that literally just me? Frankie Muniz's Big Fat Liar with Amanda Bynes as well. Someone said I vaguely remember that movie. Yeah, it was wild, dog. Anyways, I'm getting excited, but I feel like if I were to watch the movie today, I would have been like, what was that? I also definitely remember Cheaper by the Dozen, and then obviously directing the first 3 films in the Night at the Museum franchise. He's a big deal. I just didn't really put the name to the work, okay? Someone said I loved it. Dude, I loved that movie. I really, really loved that movie when I was younger. Anyways, pulling this right here. Great. So Sean Levy, director, says AI will become an essential tool for movie making, but he hasn't incorporated it in any meaningful way yet. So, non-essential tool here to tell us that AI is an essential tool. Sorry, that was mean. I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna make the final cut. We'll just see how spicy I'm feeling when this video goes up. Someone said everyone is saying happy birthday because someone said it's their birthday. Happy birthday every day. Treat every day like it's your birthday, but if this is your birthday, happy birthday to that too. We drinking some water. Water break. You know we gotta stay hydrated up in here. Someone said we really are the same age. Who, you and me? Maybe. I'd be 27. That's me. We out here. Zillennial. Very much like Gen Z, but like also, I remember so many millennial things. All right. Anyways, someone says I also only remember him as a blue man. Also, by the way, I see a lot of people saying like Sean Levy also has a bunch of other problems that we could certainly get into, but for the sake of this discussion, I'm mostly talking about his stance on AI in Hollywood. So he says, talking about post-production for Star Wars Starfighter, I'm in the beautiful sanctity of the edit room. We don't come out till next year, and so it's a rare movie where I don't have a release date looming, so I'm in the quiet dark of the dark quiet of the edit room, finding the best possible shape for the film. For the sound of it, Variety says AI will not be a significant tool in finding that shape. To date, I've not incorporated AI in any meaningful way in any phase of my storytelling process, but I have no doubt that in the course of my career, we will see its integration, Levy said. To the point that many smarter people than I have made. It's about integrating these technologies responsibly and with still the primacy of the creative voice and not a potential replacement for that voice. By the way, notice how literally every single proponent of AI says the same thing. Yes, we are going to use AI to do things that we previously would have paid artists to do, but it's not about replacing artists. Okay, then why are we here? Just to suffer? I think what you get from creative voice and vision is singular and irreplicable, but if we can use these emerging AI capacities to support storytelling in a kind of creative and human first workflow, then I think that's something to embrace, not fear. Literally, word salad final boss. Imagine you're reaching the word count in an essay competition and your opponent is Sean Levy. Give up, drop out, you're done. This is so stupid. All right. Moving forward. Don't mind me, I'm just checking my outline. Oh, yeah, great. Unfortunate. Okay, so I would like to say it's also not even just film directors. Unfortunately, music video directors. Who here has seen so much AI in music videos? I mean, that's also a form of filmmaking, obviously. I get so disappointed. It's actually making me less likely to click into a new video, especially if it seems like it's going to have a lot of effects in it, because I keep getting jump scared with poorly done AI. I feel like right now, probably my biggest beef has got to be with Dave Meyers, who used to have a lot of really cool effects in his videos, lots of really great CG and stuff like that, even if they were kind of campy or whatever. But recently, you watch some of his new stuff, and there is just so much AI usage in these music videos, and it looks like garbage. It does not even look as good as his stuff looked beforehand. Trying to pull an example. All right, here we go. Like the Blackpink's video for Jump, literally just a random example because I have a whole article about it. It was a collective effort from start to finish, from technical and innovative aspects to tight schedules. All of Rodeo Effects Studios contributed to this innovative music video that was imagined by Dave Meyers. And that imagining included a, quote, controlled and thoughtful use of AI tools, which allowed them to craft the backgrounds, simulate crowds, and a bunch of other things. This innovative use of next-gen tools proved instrumental in delivering such an ambitious project on time. It's funny because you're trying to make it sound like a really cool and awesome thing. Like, yeah, we met everybody's schedules by using these awesome tools, but you are literally just saying we rushed this music video and cut corners so we could finish it faster. Like, and I'm supposed to be clapping? Wait, I have a better one. Like, did they think I was gonna jump? It doesn't make any sense. No one is clapping for this. We're so incredibly proud to have collaborated on a project that brought together our global teams in service of a bold creative vision from one of the world's most iconic pop groups, while simultaneously like splitting a bunch of fans in this fan base, because I saw a lot of Blackpink fans saying like, dog, we don't want AI in our music video. I don't really think like Blinks are clamoring for a bunch of generative AI visual effects. They would probably just wait for you to make an actual video the normal way. But alas, somebody said Timbaland and Suno was whack. I didn't even know that was happening. I haven't done my AI in music video yet. We've done. Are you saying Timbaland did something with Suno that? You're lying. You're lying. No. I'm done. It is literally that big of a deal. This is a big deal. Somebody said Timbaland was the first to do AI music stuff. I never even saw it. I missed it because there was so much AI discourse. Or maybe I already knew about this and somebody already told me this, and I erased it from my mind. He is literally one of the most iconic producers, not in like an overhyped way either. Like the discography is amazing. Oh, yeah, he's probably gonna have to be like one of my number one examples, along with Imogen Heap, of like really talented and instrumental, no jokes intended, people who are now going like full steam ahead with the AI stuff. But I'm still working on my AI and music outline. Like I said, we have it here in film. We've had it in literature influencing podcasting. That one is going to suck so bad. Someone said I could have sworn you talked about this. Maybe I did. Because I feel like maybe I did. I'm going to forget it again, though, on purpose. I'm literally going to forget this again on purpose. Because I don't want to believe this. I really don't. Someone said not Imogen Heap. Wait. Yeah, I know. This is like maybe my fourth time bringing this up on stream because everyone always reacts the same way of like that can't be true. But actually, I gotta put her full name. Yeah, she's kind of like super super into AI right now. She's kind of super into AI. But that's okay. I think like it's still using stable diffusion. It's I cry. Again, when you see me do that video, know that I'm going to have to be working against all of the cognitive dissonance and parasocial behavior that is in my heart. Someone said Charlie Puth. Yeah, I do definitely remember Charlie Puth. We made a whole video about that. All right, anyways, getting back into Dave Myers. I went on a tangent there. All right, so what is my next thing that I want to see? Yes, Matthew McConaughey, my favorite. Who here happened to be there for my Matthew McConaughey poetry stream? Was anybody there for that? That was a long time ago. That was like months ago, and I didn't turn it into a video, and it was kind of funny, but I already have like mixed feelings on Mr. McConaughey. But today we're going to talk about 11 Labs. 11 Labs. So anyways, we kind of talked about actors embracing this, directors embracing this. Another thing that actors seem really excited about is becoming AI. If you're going to be replaced, why not just join in early so you're not blindsided, I guess. Matthew McConaughey, Michael Caine team with 11 Labs for AI generated versions of their voices. Why? McConaughey, who is investing in the company. Oh, that's why. Never mind. All of this is just a money-making scheme, even when they're like literally screaming at us and demanding that we believe it's actually just because this is the future. Okay. McConaughey, who was investing in the company using tech for Spanish language edition of his newsletter, Caine joins new iconic voice marketplace. So it's called an iconic voice marketplace. Chat. Y'all are selling yourselves to a computer. This is dystopia. Anyone? I know that we overuse the word dystopia. I understand, but this is nothing if not dystopian. Anyways, so these actors have teamed with AI audio company 11 Labs to produce virtual replications of their famous voices. McConaughey has invested an undisclosed sum in New York-based 11 Labs. He's been collaborating with them since 2022, which I literally had no idea. And now he's trying to use it to generate a Spanish language audio version of his newsletter, Lyrics of Living, in his own voice. Bro, learn Spanish. Pay somebody who's... Something about this is really off to me, though, because, like, this has to be one of the clearest examples of somebody getting cheated out of their job by a computer. There is no actual reason that Matthew McConaughey's Spanish language Matthew McConaughey's Spanish language newsletter shouldn't be read by a Spanish speaker. How is this fair? This doesn't really make any sense. There are so many professional narrators who are Spanish speakers, and now it's like, what is happening to this entire market? If we don't even need those people anymore, we're literally just going to have sorry, I'm mad. I don't understand. Reading chat. Someone says Americans fighting tooth and nail to stay monolingual. Oh, trust me, same. I'm embarrassed about it. I'm not embarrassed about very many things. And I'm not exactly ashamed to be American because, first of all, I was brought here. But like, the one thing that I am ashamed about is that I only know one language. As an American speaking English. I'm not saying if you only know one language, you should be ashamed, but I'm talking about myself. I've had ample opportunity to learn other languages. I grew up in San Antonio, Texas for 20 years. 20 years surrounded by Spanish speakers who would have been happy to speak with me, even if I sounded a little stupid initially. I could literally have been at a point of actual fluency in Spanish because from age 4, I had the opportunity to learn Spanish among native Spanish speakers. But what happened was I was scared as a child, and I never wanted to do anything that I wasn't good at because I was afraid that people would laugh at me. So even though I was encouraged to like, yeah, just go speak Spanish, we'll help you learn, I was like, no, because then you're gonna hate me. And I didn't realize, I'm literally making an excuse, by the way. I didn't realize, like, low key, it was kind of like, I feel rejection sensitive dysphoria didn't help. That's not the reason that I only know English. I can think back at times where the thought of me doing something that I could potentially be perceived as bad at made me want to die. So I just didn't even try. I'm so sad. Someone said you can still learn Spanish, bro. I can, and I should. I still have natives, or like when I say native, I mean like Spanish is literally their first language. I still have people in my actual like family essentially who Spanish is like their first language. And I should ask them for help. So I'm going to stop trying to be, I'm going to try to stop being a little baby and learn another language so I can finally stop being American. Someone said doesn't mean that you need to learn other languages, just be open to others using theirs. Well, yeah, that too. I mean, don't be like whack. Don't be whack. Don't hear people speaking Spanish and be like, oh, speak English. I can't imagine anything dumber than that. It's so dumb. Someone said, as a Russian person who started learning Spanish at 26 and Chinese at 40, you can start anytime. Okay, that is literally like, I know inspirational is a cringe word, but it makes me feel a little better knowing that you can start learning a language at 26 or even 40. That's my main fear, is like sometimes I feel like I miss my chance, because I know kids, they're way easier, like they're way better at learning languages because they're I was about to start trying to say science as if I actually know the science. I do not. But that doesn't mean that I can't try, honestly. It really doesn't. Someone said learning languages equals neuroplasticity too. That's true. And I want to be smarty. I want to be a smarty when I'm old. That way I'm not a problem. I do think that if you're not careful as you get older, you do get dumber. If this is one of my most unpopular opinions. I think honestly, what we call stubbornness in older people, to me, just reads as like ignorance. And so for as much as older people are screaming at people my age that we're dumb, we're all dumb. I'm Gen Z, I'm so dumb. But I'm just like, but you like willingly don't know half of the terms that are used on a daily basis of people literally just describing their own identities to you, and you could not name like basic things that have become commonly like I'm sorry, I really do think there's a lot of people who just literally use their age as an excuse to stop learning, and then they're just kind of dumb. But like, that's not most people though, literally, or maybe it is, but definitely not the ones around me. I'm just surrounded by woke older people, so I'm gonna try to be that instead. I really am. Someone said also, as a Brazilian, I was embarrassed of not really speaking Spanish because we're surrounded by Spanish speaking countries. Well, let's all learn Spanish together. You know what, let's just do that as a group project. I know probably a ton of people in this chat already know Spanish, but let's do that. Anyways, moving on. I got distracted. Someone said we're all always learning. We should all be always learning. I think sometimes I run into people who very deliberately draw a hard line in the sand, and they're like, I refuse to continue learning about new people, or not new people, but like what people are doing and how things have changed. And then I feel like that's where you get a lot of that really nasty bigotry from. And it's like, you should keep learning though. I've had to update my things. Actually, can I give you an example of something that I updated? I've been meaning to say this. I didn't just want to be performative, so I wanted some time to pass. But you know what? Like 4 months ago, when I first started streaming, I was just talking in the way I usually do, and I said something was like lame. I mean, I said that a lot, like, oh, that's so lame or whatever. And like one person in my chat, it was literally just like one or two people, was like, hey, describing things that are uncool as lame is like, ableist, and I was like, is it? Because like that was so counterproductive to me as, or like counterintuitive to me as somebody who just grew up in the 2000s. Everything was described this way. And also there's like a lot of people who maybe don't share that opinion, right? A lot of people maybe are disabled and don't see it that way. But I was thinking to myself, like, this might be a good opportunity to try a little bit. Like, I feel like if I have the capability of maybe not giving people the ick or saying things that might be perceived as offensive, and there's also other words in my vocabulary that I could use, maybe I could just start using those. Somebody said, I remember saying I moved away from it. Yeah, I literally just tried to move away from it because I was just like, I do see what they're saying. Honestly, like, I literally understand. It may be commonly accepted, but it's not really that different from saying that something is uncool as like gay, for example. So I stopped, even though it wasn't a clean transition, and I'm sure I still say it. But like, I feel like things like that, as long as you're always willing to do that, or at least try. Someone said whack. I literally always say whack. That's it. It's so easy. If I feel the urge to want to say something is that, and so I'm just like, this is whack. And also whack is more fun of a word anyway. But like, I even remember at that point, there were maybe a couple of stray comments in the chat of people who were just like, what? Like, come on. It's just a word. But I'm just like, I don't know. Just staying open. It doesn't matter how old you are. I feel like as long as you can do that, you'll be all right. For real, for real. Someone said, how is it ableist? Genuine question. Good question. I mean, I'm probably going to explain this pretty terribly, but like the word lame itself was initially used to refer to people who are disabled. Obviously, that is absolutely not the correct term to use today. And then simultaneously, this term gets associated in the mainstream with things that are bad. We only ever use this in a negative context. And I think something that was traditionally associated with people who were disabled always being used in a negative context, when that's also not what we mean. It just is not a very like intentional usage of words to me anyways. When it was explained to me, I think it made sense. So I was like, okay, bet dog, we'll be all right. Someone said there's so many words in the English language that are great descriptors. I think that's the other thing too, is like when you feel like people are trying to take things away from you, which I think that is the response that I often see of like, you're never going to take away me using that word. But like, we have other words and they're so fun. Things can be whack. They can be boring. They can be awful. They can be blasé. They can be pedestrian. They can be jejune. They can be juvenile. They can be played, tired, repetitive. Things can be, you know, like, there's just so many other words. And if I don't feel like using my brain, I can ultimately just say, that was whack. End of story. Someone said, I learned something new on this live stream every day. Yeah, but anyway, that's not like something that every single person believes, but if enough people believe it, why not? Why not? So as a writer, I'm like, okay, challenges to use better words. Me too. As a communicator, as a speaker, I'm like, you just gave me a challenge. How many other words am I going to use? Someone said trite is my favorite. Oh my God, I love the word trite. I love the word trite so much, actually. Someone says silly. Yes. Anyways. Someone said D'Angelo education mogging all the ableists in chat. That's okay. Because by the time I'm done, there won't be no ableists in chat. See? Y'all don't let me be the ists and the isms, which I appreciate. You like weeded out of me eventually over time. And so then I get less that, and maybe together, like we can all learn Spanish. We can also be a little bit less ableist. Maybe. Anyways. McConaughey. Ugh, you can see why I was like stalling. You can see why I was stalling. So, okay, we talked about the Spanish of it all. Okay, yeah, anyways. So, if you just joined the chat, by the way, and you're like, what? We were talking about like potentially ableist words. Before this, we were having this big old conversation about how actors, directors, not just film directors, music video directors are all teaming together to use AI and convince us that it's a good thing for us. And now I was talking about how actors are trying to become AI by licensing themselves to companies like 11 Labs, with Matthew McConaughey, literally being an investor in this company, which also kind of gets to my larger point of a lot of this is more of just, hey, we can make money by doing this, as opposed to actually having any sort of real artistic innovation. McConaughey said in a statement, since our first conversation, I've been impressed by how the 11 Labs team that you basically own has taken the magic of the core technology and turned it into products that creators, enterprises, and storytellers use daily. I launched my newsletter, Lyrics of Living, as a way to share stories and ideas in my own voice with those who want to listen. I absolutely love how this is simultaneously an advertisement for AI that is hiding an advertisement for Matthew McConaughey's newsletter, which is also kind of just an advertisement for McConaughey himself. Now, thanks to 11 Labs, Lyrics of Living is expanding with a Spanish language edition, allowing us to reach and connect with even more people. To everyone building with voice technology, keep going. You're helping create a future where we can look up from our screens through something as timeless as humanity itself, our voices. And then Michael Caine, the 92-year-old actor, is joining the newly launched iconic voice marketplace. I've talked about this before, and I'll say it again. For everything I just said about older people, sometimes I feel like they're just not as caught up as they could be. Sometimes I don't blame people who are above a certain age when it comes to this AI stuff, because I feel like they're being lied to. Now, that might be me being ageist, and that might be me like infantilizing. Maybe there's some things I need to unpack, but chat, I'm just being honest. When you are literally 92 years old, I 93 now, I maybe could believe that you were actually just being completely lied to by 11 Labs about what all of this even is. Again, you do obviously still have some personality. You do obviously still have personal responsibility for your actions, but like 92 is crazy, dog. So you are correct. Yeah, I think a lot of this is intentionally misleading people who literally do not know what's going on here. But yeah, if you want to purchase Michael Caine's voice on the iconic voice marketplace, go crazy, go stupid. Listen to Caine's AI generated voice in the sizzle reel. No, I don't think so. Each new advancement in technology is met with caution, and rightly so. But every time, the human drive for passion, artistry, and creativity prevails, because technology is just the medium. This is humanity amplified. Okay, I just... Oh, by the way, I didn't realize we got Liza Minnelli. I remember that. Judy Garland. No way. Yo, that is genuinely messed up. Okay, I didn't even realize that. Dude, Judy Garland was already so... She was already so failed by Hollywood. Actually, her story is kind of sad. And I feel like somebody who died in 1969 at age 47 has her likeness now being offered up on an AI marketplace. But these same people are going to try to pretend like this has anything to do with artistry and respecting humanity. This is actually like appalling. This is pretty bad. What in the world? Someone said movies with previously dead people coming soon. Just you wait. Oh, that's so bad. Maya Angelou? Oh, nah. Dude, 11 Labs has to go. What are we doing here? Anyways, according to them, the iconic voice marketplace solves a key ethical challenge. What? How would you even use the word ethical in AI-driven media creation? By enabling the ethical sourcing and licensing of some of the world's most recognizable voices. Imagine literally just... You're just straight up lying. You're literally just straight up lying. That is wild. That is wild. Someone said Maya would lose it if she knew about this. Yeah, no. As if Maya Angelou would be like, yes, license my voice on 11 Labs. There's no way that's possible. That's literally not possible. Call me parasocial. I didn't know her, but dear God, she absolutely did leave behind enough work for me to say this is completely antithetical to anything she was ever writing about. The human spirit? Like, okay. Anyways, And you see why in general I just feel like people who are collaborating with this in the first place knowingly are being so deeply unethical, so whack, as I say. Like, y'all have to stop doing this. Y'all have to stop doing this. Someone said, what is so hard about hiring a living person to read some lines? It costs some money. That's the answer. That's why it's impossible for them to want to do this, because why would you pay some money when you can just barely pay for AI to generate? And you know what I think though? People get really good at ignoring the cost when it's not monetary. So you think to yourself, like, yeah, now we don't have to pay a human Spanish speaker, but you are still paying. In this case, it would be through the environmental usage that Gen AI is just so deeply destructive to. Also, the data centers that are literally taking up people's homes, etc. Like, it's not exactly like this stuff is actually free or like there's less of a cost. It's just because the cost is not money per se, it's something that the companies are able to just ignore and not be made to pay. But that's okay. That's actually kind of like a tenet of capitalism in general, is the externalization of non-monetary costs, in which companies are not actually made to pay for things that don't cost money. But that's okay. That's okay. Anyways, moving from this, someone said they had to say ethical twice in that sentence, so you know it's genuinely ethical. Yeah, sure. God. Anyways, McConaughey, much like Reese Witherspoon was trying to frame this as like a women's issue, he has also tried to take some sort of moral stand and is like, Matthew McConaughey sounds the alarm for artists and fight against AI misuse. Own yourself so no one can steal you. So it is literally like, if you can't beat them, join them, which doesn't make any sense in this specific case whatsoever. Also trying to pull this. All right, give me a second. Moving on to my next thing. Oh no, wait. Sorry, I'm still stuck on McConaughey. During a CNN and Variety town hall event, the 56-year-old actor spoke to Chalamet. Remember that? Remember that? Don't remind me. And talking about AI, he said, it's damn sure going to infiltrate our category. Does it become another category? Will we be in 5 years having the best AI film, the best AI actor? Maybe. I think that might be the thing. It becomes another category. It's going to be in front of us in ways we didn't even see. It's going to get so good, we're not going to know the difference. That's one of the biggest questions right now, the question of reality. It's more hazy than ever, in a very exciting way, I think, but also a scary way. Bro is lucky that Timothy said the dumbest thing ever. Because this was actually the dumbest thing ever. But thankfully, Chalamet somehow said something that came across even worse, so I don't think anybody remembered McConaughey saying this. Or maybe nobody had expectations for him, so it wasn't that surprising. But alas. All right. So we've talked a bit about what it looks like from the licensing perspective, what it looks like from the directing perspective. Now we're talking about AI that is actually tailored towards Hollywood. AI film tools and companies that are being backed by people who are presumably filmmakers. Let's see. So Natasha Lyonne, Leon, let me pronounce that correctly. Natasha Lyonne, comedian, actor, writer, very funny person, has recently gone pretty far into this AI production studio thing. She, watch out for this word, take a shot. Every time an AI proponent uses the word ethical. YouTube, I swear to God, this is water. Please. Okay, let's see. Someone says, I don't even think anyone knows how big of a pain it is the AI is to deal with legally. Like, you can't copyright if we allow AI in mass media. Yeah, like, I don't know what they think is going to happen. But anyways, pulling this up. So this is, again, not exactly new. These things have been in the works, but they're just coming to the forefront now more than ever. The artist-led film studio, Asteria and Moon Valley, announced the first clean AI model for Hollywood. So the artist-led generative AI and animation studio, Asteria. Again, you can stick the word artist-led in front of AI all you want, but it's literally still AI. Has joined forces with AI research company Moon Valley to build the entertainment industry's first clean foundational AI model, named Mary after early cinema trailblazer Etienne Jules Mary. Wait, is it Marais actually? Hold on. I want to know how to pronounce this so I don't sound stupid. Okay, shout out pronounced names from 2014. This better be accurate or I'm going to cry. Wait, I can't hear it. I know you can hear it, but I can't hear it. Oh, I can. Marais. Okay, cool. Marais. My bad. Look, even if you did, I don't want to mispronounce your name. Named Marais after early cinema trailblazer Etienne Jules Marais, which, by the way, we're doing this again, right? Somebody who is deceased now being irrevocably associated with AI because y'all literally have to steal everything. But anyway, this Marais model will bring unparalleled power to film and media production while distinguishing itself by relying exclusively on ethically sourced data owned by the company. I essentially have like one response to that. I'm gonna take a big press X to doubt on this one. Sure, maybe we will believe two AI companies teaming up to say that their new AI is actually completely ethical, and we're just gonna take their word for it. Or I could be a little bit skeptical of that. Sorry. But yes, we have tools like this that are now trying to power Hollywood by artist-led AI Hollywood studios, whatever that means. It's just a group of people using AI to try to make things. All right, trying to pull this. All right. And like, we definitely don't have to get into the full gamut of it, but it's the same thing where Leon is saying once again, who knows what's happening with the future? AI is going to be a thing. Uncanny Valley, about a teenage girl who loses touch with reality when a popular VR game starts to glitch, will be produced by the AI production studio Leon co-founded, Asteria, using Moon Valley's clean AI model, Marais. Sure. In other words, the film won't feature copyrighted material that's been scraped from civilian data worldwide to create the most ghastly, god-awful images you've ever seen. Well, wait, whoever wrote this? Okay, I like that. I still don't think it's much better, but we'll see. The film will ostensibly have its video game elements constructed using the Marais, while Leon says the rest will be shot with, quote, traditional filmmaking techniques. Leon has spent much of the press run for season 2 of Poker Face openly defending the film and its use of AI, telling Variety, I don't even have to read this. It's all about protecting artists and confronting this oncoming wave. Viewing AI or using AI for things like set extensions, etc. So that's another one. Someone said it's going to be so integrated that we won't be able to boycott it. No, I kind of, I'm going to give you an example of that. I didn't see a lot of talk about this. Hold on. I'm going to try to pull this right now. Let's see. I need to make sure that I'm not misquoting this, so because I didn't have this in my outline, but I do want to make sure that like I'm correct about this. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. But It's about costume design, and it's kind of what it's about what that commenter said about, like, we're going to get to a point where we can't even distinguish, or we can't even meaningfully boycott, because everything's going to be so deeply integrated into films, we won't know what is or is not AI. Okay, here, let's see. Do. So Natrice Gaskins, who worked on costume design for Sinners. Yes, beloved film. I certainly love it. Sinners. This is very little talked about. Actually said that in conjunction with, or working together with, the lead costume designer, they used Midjourney for costume design. This seems like, again, like, I don't know the extent of what did or did not happen. It's not exactly like you can AI generate a physical article of clothing. So that being said, I think this kind of sucks a little bit. As you see, they still did put a lot of other work in trying to pull from other places for what they were doing. But, like, dog. What do you mean somebody involved with costume design for Sinners was using Midjourney? And then at that point, it's like, whose fault is that? It's not Ryan Coogler doing this. It's not the director asking for this to be done. It's not like the actors are wearing these thinking that somebody was using Midjourney to try to come up with ideas for their costuming. It is going to get increasingly worse until it's to the point where it's like, I would never say there's no point in trying to figure out what was made by who, but it's all just so unnecessary. I don't understand. Decide on a clear concept. For Sinners, the key concepts came from the film script that I was required to read before doing any Gen AI work. The designer, Ruth, also had ideas that I had to keep in mind when working, and I'm just like, dog. And again, this is from 2024, literally. It's been happening and will likely continue to happen. Someone said that's messed up when it's connected to culture and representation. Yeah, it's just, God, that sucks. It really, really does. I don't think that means the right answer is no one watched Sinners, especially since we had literally no way of knowing that this happened. It's not like anybody had seen these articles until after the film was up for its Oscar race, and then that's when people start digging up any dirt they can. But, like, what is the answer? Someone said this feels sinful. Nice. At least we got something funny out of it. Someone said this is genuinely cultural appropriation. Oh yeah, I strongly believe that any AI generated depiction of a culture ever is literally cultural appropriation. That's maybe one of my strongest, well, no, my strongest opinion of all is that it's not possible to generate AI images that are not racist, because I actually believe no matter who you are, no matter what your race is, the idea of literally taking every person of your race that exists on the internet and downloading their face into your brain and then trying to synthesize a fake version of that can only persist as stereotypes. There's no way to generate a non-stereotypical depiction of somebody. It's not. It's baked into the actual process for what generative AI images is. So that's probably my strongest. My strongest AI opinion is that every single usage of it to ever generate anything is actually pretty much racist. But on a lower level, I think definitely trying to make things that seem culturally authentic is obviously just going to be appropriation. It's quite literally being appropriated by the computer. It's not good. Someone say AI equals automatic caricature. Quite literally. Anyways, but yeah, oh man, not Sinners. Anyways, moving on from that. I'm consulting my outline, don't worry. I think what is maybe so we're getting locked out of this one too. Hold on. I want it, even though I'm mostly just going off of the headline here. I think the cognitive dissonance is what gets me more than anything. Of people want to be using AI without catching any of the flack. So you have someone like Natasha Leone saying AI has an ethics problem because it's super kosher, copacetic to rob freely under the auspices of acceleration, which yes, but also there may be some other problems with AI that you haven't necessarily solved just because you are allegedly only sourcing your training data from like willing participants, i.e. all of these environmental problems and the ease of abuse with tools like this. Like you're never ever going to stick enough correct words in front of AI for me to sit down and A-OK it in its current state. I just think the general process of it being a plagiarism machine that takes up so much water. We haven't even talked about water. Dog, I don't know. Why is it so important that we accept this? Maybe that's the thing that I don't get. I think we're on year 3 of this AI debate. I think we really might be on year 3 of this. And what I have failed to understand this entire time is why the people who use these tools are just so like hell-bent on everybody else giving them an ethical and moral pass. Okay, fine. I'll admit that you're doing it correctly now in a way that's not bad. Sure, it's never gonna happen. Is that what you want? Let me tell you, you'll never get it. Not from her. That's one of my favorite memes, by the way. Is that? Let me see. Let me tell you, you'll never get it. I feel like the meme itself is actually from a moment that was actually like not funny. But I think about this clip all the time. Wait, I'm going to pull it up. This got used on Twitter a lot. Man, I remember my Twitter days. Dark times.
Does that sound like something you want?
Yes.
Well, let me tell you, you'll never get it.
It's a terrible clip, but I think about it a lot. Like, does that sound like something you want? Well, let me tell you, you'll never get it. Not from her. Anyways, moving on. Someone says I have to use it to keep my job. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna put this in the video. To anybody who is being coerced into using AI in order to keep their job, I don't blame you. I really don't think it makes sense for me to say like anybody who ever types anything up into ChatGPT, you should be fined. It would be really out of touch for me to ignore the fact that it's not only happening in Hollywood. I'm just using this because it's an example adjacent to my niche, but like widespread throughout multiple industries. Companies are deciding that AI is part of their workflow. It's part of their pipeline now. And so, yes, even people who just work for literally anyone may be getting made to use AI in their job, potentially against their will. I see that commonly. So I want to make sure my ire is directed towards the right people, which would likely be the richest people who are using and advocating for this. All right. Someone says my job is feeding my design work into AI. That is that's just sorry. I'm not laughing like that's depressing. But you have to have a job, obviously. I don't know. I feel like when you have a choice, again, like you already have untold millions, then what are you doing? But this is why it's trickling down, because of this normalization. This stuff does matter. It really does. So I'm being forced to use it in my university classes. What kind of future? Yeah, clearly we've lost the plot. Moving on from this, I want to talk about I want to talk about Darren Aronofsky. Now, brother, what are you doing? First of all, put him in the pretentious basket. It's very hard sometimes to engage with his oeuvre. That being said, I do like the film Black Swan, I won't lie, but this is another pretty prominent director. Has anybody watched this movie, by the way? Oh, wait, these are actual black swans. Natalie Portman. Well, I love how I was literally just trying to find an actress in a movie, and the very first Google result underneath her name was wait. The world is very normal. The internet is a good thing. Data, people's search habits are definitely indicative of a healthy attitude towards women. This is unhinged. Anyways, what I was literally just trying to do was find pictures of her. I was literally going to say, she did such a good job in this movie. I feel like no matter what you think about the film, I find it hard to deny that Natalie Portman ate. Do you understand? She killed it. But I guess everybody's just going on Google trying to figure out how much she weighed in this movie. That is literally unhinged. Anyways, moving on from that. So yeah, unfortunately though, Black Swan director, he also did Mother, I believe, and a few other things. This is pretty bad. He AI generated an entire series that is just like glazing the founding of America. I know that might sound like, D'Angelo, you're starting to play Mad Libs. You're just saying random words now. No. Let me pull it up. All right. I have so many links in this outline. So many. Primordial Soup is the creative studio founded by Darren Aronofsky, dedicated to, here we go again, storytelling innovation, integrating AI into the filmmaking process, or AKA validating Darren Aronofsky's laziness because he doesn't even want to have to do his job anymore. Trying to pull this. Give me a second. Oh, we got locked out again. Hold on. I'm gonna find this. Ski Founding Fathers series. Yes, here it is. Found it. So Darren Aronofsky's new AI generated American Revolution series is not a joke. I'm concerned, says Cinema Blend. I would have to agree. Again, I'm not really going to subject you to just watching a bunch of strange looking slop, but it's literally just a 100% AI generated video of a retelling of the foundation, the American Revolution. And I'm like, who in the world asked for that? I don't think a single soul wanted Aronofsky's take on the American Revolution, and B, just prayed that it would happen through the medium of AI, which is not a medium because none of this is artwork. But anyways, someone said innovation in AI in one sentence, please. Yeah, I know. They just can't stop. Is that what I named the stream? I don't remember what I named the stream, and I don't have it pulled up because I don't look at my streams. But it's like, Hollywood cannot stop using AI at this point. They can't stop glazing it. I think that's what I named the stream. Oh my gosh, it's so bad. Anyways, moving forward. Give me a split second. Oh gosh. Okay, found him. Similarly, sorry, give me one more second. I'm just trying to make sure I've got the right source on here. You can't be out here saying the wrong things, or then everybody who's a fan of Aronofsky will be like, nah, it's not about the American Revolution. It's about the Industrial Revolution. And therefore, your whole point is invalid. But anyways, Ben Affleck. Why not? At this point, we should just throw a dart at the celebrity, not the physical one. We're not advocating for violence, and they'll probably have endorsed AI at this point. Let's see. So the specifics of his AI company that he basically started and then sold to Netflix are kind of unclear, but it says 2 years before Netflix deal, Ben Affleck AI firm Interpositive promised to save film and TV producers millions. 50% discount on visual effects. So this is yet another example, seemingly from how this is being described, as let's replace a visual effects artist, which I literally feel sorry for at this point. So whatever it is that he's doing with this AI firm Interpositive, it was apparently so appealing, so attractive to Netflix that they were like, oh, I'm going to have me some of that. And so now actually Netflix owns the Ben Affleck AI firm Interpositive, which is apparently going to play some sort of role in their visual effects pipeline, which I can only imagine means more slop, unless there's something I'm missing. Somebody says when the robot revolution happens, we're feeding the AI glazers to them first. Yeah, if y'all love the computer so much, go ahead out there, go talk to them. They seem a little angry, but I'm sure y'all can figure that out. Actually, all of this reminds me of this Grimes song. I've already talked about this Grimes song. Actually, I've my headspace with Grimes. It's not getting any better because I think I have it. I think I have the outline. I think I have a structure for my Grimes video. Not the complete outline. There's still a lot of moving parts that I have to figure out, but I'm not officially promising you a video essay, the elusive Grimes video essay that I'm going to put on my other channel that's going to be like 90 minutes long. But if I was doing that, I may have already kind of figured out the like ABC part structure of it. And I just keep thinking about how she really is an analog, like a perfect description of she's a perfect description of what has gone awry here. And even though this is a good song, by the way, because I like music and this is not AI music. Oh, my phone is going off. But I'm ignoring it because I am at work. And maybe if you had a business that you were passionate about, then you would know what it takes to run a business, but you don't. So I'm just gonna sorry. I feel like as annoying as I am during my live streams, y'all don't realize that I'm actually much worse offline. I'm so much worse offline. I will literally just recite any and every meme at any given opportunity, as long as I'm not being disruptive. And that Kim K quote is definitely one of them. Maybe if you had a business that you were passionate about, then you would know what it takes to run a business, but you don't. Anyways, that's that's literally one of my favorite memes of all time. Okay, hold on. It's always giving. We appreciate power, which is a good song. But these lyrics, dog. What will it take to make you capitulate? We appreciate power. Elevate the human race. Putting makeup on my face. It's really this part right here. People like to say that we're insane, but AI will reward us when it rains. There are sirens in the background, and I am trying to wait them out. I really hope everyone is fine. That sounds like a lot of sirens, though, so I am concerned. God, I feel like anytime I hear like 5 emergency vehicles going at once, I get so scared. But hopefully everyone's fine. Shout out our like paramedics. Paramedics are crazy. Like, not crazy. Like, it's crazy that people actually have this job and do this job. It's wild. I don't know. Also, I know I shouldn't be comparing people. I know I shouldn't be comparing people, but I think that like all the respect that we have for military, I feel like it should definitely just be given to like medical professionals, like especially people who are like first responders. Someone said very underappreciated job. Yeah, no, I feel like instead of like this weird glaze that we do here in America of the United States Armed Forces, I think it would just make more sense if we were like, actually, we respect our first responders. Actually, we have discounts if you are a first responder. We're going to have First Responders Day. We're going to have a holiday for you. We're going to like, I feel like that would make sense. More sense to me than the way we talk about the military, because these are literally people who are volunteering, and oftentimes they can be put in really dangerous situations, and they are literally saving people's lives. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Some say EMTs are amazing. They're literal lifesavers. So many people would be dead. What? I know somebody's gonna have my back, and it's gonna be an EMT. That's just wild to think about. Anyways, the lyrics in this song of Grimes and Hana saying, "I lost it. Where was it?" Oh yeah, people like to say that we're insane, says Grimes, but AI will reward us when it rains. Pledge allegiance to the world's most powerful computer. Simulation, it's the future. See, when this song came out, I liked it. Why? Because ChatGPT didn't exist. There were no AI video generation tools, and I thought that it was fiction. I believed that this was satirical, that this was a speculative science fiction song that was taking like a fake approach to how the future could look if we were in some sort of cyberpunk world. I was not bumping Grimes, literally thinking to myself, one day, actually, people will literally start pledging their allegiance to the world's most powerful computers, even though the computers aren't even good at their job, as if the AI is somehow going to reward them. It came true, and it makes me so mad. Anyways, zooming out. The song literally came out in 2018. Things were not that bad then. I know, I was there. They were pretty bad in many ways, but not like this. Moving forward. Okay, so don't worry. I literally only have I only have a couple more things to show you, because I know it's been a lot of AI slop this stream, but we can move forward and be free after. I think next I want to tell you about Val Kilmer. Hold on, I'm pulling this up now. I saw a couple of comments during the stream of people maybe jokingly or maybe honestly saying like, oh, just wait until AI has like dead actors in the movie. It already happened. This has happened. Val Kilmer, actor, passed away last year for some reason. Let's see. Trying to pull this right now. Oof, my computer is running a little bit slowly because I think I have so many tabs open. Wait, I'm going to close all these tabs. Okay. Oh, take two. Wait. Sorry, it's getting laggy. It's getting buggy. Don't blame me. Oh man. Hold on, chat. We're towards the end of we're literally towards the end of this stream. Not the stream, but this segment. Everything is going really well. I'm trying to pull the Val Kilmer resurrection necromancy. This is literally necromancy. Actually, no. Necromancy is awesome because it's not real. This is just unethical trash. Okay, Microsoft Edge is not responding. If you close the program, you might lose information. Uh-oh, chat. Okay. Computer die. Computer die. Hold on. I'm trying. Okay, computer back. Maybe it'll work this time. Let's see. Scrolling back down to the Val Kilmer section. I hate technical difficulty so much. Okay, anyways. Sorry. I know I'm getting quiet. You're just watching me stare at a computer. Okay. Maybe I should just restart my computer. I'm going to restart my computer. Don't worry. Don't leave the stream. I have two computers. The computer I stream from is not the same computer. Look, it's restarting. It's not the same computer that I look at stuff on. So just give me a minute. Give me a minute and then I'll fix it and we'll get there. Someone says 10 years from now, necromancy discovered. No, thank you. Let necromancy stay in my weird, like, fantasy novels and video games, and definitely not in real life with real people, please. Someone said Edge has so much AI bloatware that makes it so heavy to run tabs. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I think I've disabled the majority of it, but Microsoft Copilot in general is just so cringe. And you know what? No, I can't glaze Apple, but I feel like they have less AI though, because I do stream from I stream from a Mac, even though you see me use the internet on a PC. And I feel like typically on my Mac, there's not really like a bunch of prompts trying to make me use AI for literally everything, unlike the way it is on PC. Even though I still think Apple does have their Apple Intelligence. I don't know if that's like fully AI type stuff or what it's supposed to be. Okay, I'm restoring all my tabs. I think my second monitor now is probably... Oh no, it's working too. Okay, great. Hey, nothing ever really dies, chat. This is actually good news. Okay, I think we're gonna get back right to where we were. Gonna put this over here. Someone says, I love that you wear the same outfit every stream. I have to have multiple copies of this just in case. And you know, one's in the wash, we break out the other one. The reason I wear the same outfit every stream is because it's just easier. And it makes it more exciting to wear clothes outside of my stream. Because I'm like, yay, I get to wear literally anything else in my closet. Anything else in my closet at all. Someone says, I have a Mac and it keeps trying to make me use AI generated images on pages. Okay, well, that's whack. That is not good. Let's see. Scrolling down. I swear to God, I was so on. I feel like I was on point this entire stream, and now I lost my place, and I'm having a give me a second, chat. This is why I never break a thread when I'm following it. I always follow the thread all the way through. Okay, Xing out of this. Chat. Is it possible for a single web page to crash your browser? Because I'm literally starting to believe that that's what's happening here. I'm starting to think every single time I open this Esquire article, Edge just grinds to a halt, even though I think we literally looked at like so many different pages before this that were not a problem. This is so weird. Okay. Screw it. I'm gonna switch. Someone says it happens. Yeah, it's this webpage. Okay. Let's just find it like this. Val Kilmer. I think that this should work. AI. Oh God, it's using Bing. I don't know if that's exactly what I want to do, but it's okay. We're here. Literally all of this just to show this one article that said a movie... Oh, goodbye. A movie will resurrect Val Kilmer with AI. Haven't we learned anything yet? Once again, who is we? It's certainly not us clamoring for depictions of people who are literally dead. Just let them rest. But I think that this is one of the weird cases in which, because he died so recently, unlike, you know, say Judy Garland, who I still literally cannot believe his likeness they're still profiting off of today through artificial intelligence, I think bro was okay with it. I just don't think that necessarily makes it less weird for me, because where do we go from here? Let's see. I'm gonna pull this. Someone says, how did I not realize you don't wear different outfits? Because honestly, I feel like the outfit matters a little bit, but not that much. And plus, I put a lot of work into the outfits on my other channel. Literally a different outfit every single stream. A lot of times I usually have a theme. Stream? I don't stream on my other channel. The brain rot. Different outfit every single video. And a lot of times the outfits are on theme as well. So this is me being lazy, but fashionable. All right, here we go. Yeah, now that I've gotten off of that website, Edge is back to working again. That's so cringe. Mute. Val Kilmer's daughter responds to criticism of AI performance, says late dad wanted to, quote, set precedent. No, please, no. Val Kilmer's daughter explained why her family supports an AI generated version of the late actor appearing in an upcoming movie, which has sparked a fierce debate in the Hollywood industry on edge about taking jobs from actors. Mercedes Kilmer, 34, spoke on Today, April 29th, about an AI generated version of the late star of Top Gun, The Doors, and Tombstone appearing as Father Fenton, a priest and Native American spiritualist in the upcoming movie As Deep as the Grave. She said her father wanted to do this out of a desire to create, quote, structures for actors to own their licensing and have rights. Once again, you're getting the same language. My dad was very passionate that this is the time before these laws are written to make sure that there's a structure for compensation, to make sure that actors get paid on par with what they would get paid if they were physically doing it. This is so funny. Hollywood actors, the richest famous people, are working really hard to make sure that they still get paid for existing, even if they don't actually do work. Okay. And if it creates more jobs that way, that's wonderful, Kilmer said, as if this could possibly do anything other than take people's jobs. I think this is a really historic precedent, and I'm really proud of him, she added. It started off as something to overcome the limitations of his illness, but then it evolved into something that he really was like, oh, wait, I have a chance to actually set precedent. And like, that's great. Some I can kind of see his point, but it's still gross. Yeah, I think, as I said, it just very much leaves me like, I don't feel less weird about this. These people are ultimately dead and are now, it's actually easier to profit off of them than ever. By the way, Val Kilmer's appearance in this film will not be the first posthumous, appearance of an actor in a film. There's been a lot of like CGI shenanigans that have happened in the past, but something about this like deeply anti-human approach towards this entire industry being allegedly used to honor individual people's memory just doesn't hit. It doesn't hit. Someone said the greed is astronomical. Literally, you don't need to be paid for work you didn't do. You should be paid if people are profiting off of your likeness, but then do we need to profit off of the likenesses of the dead? I truly must wonder. Reading chat. Someone said my service dropped and I came into, I can't believe he said this. And I don't know what Kilmer said. Val Kilmer's daughter expressed that he allegedly, was fine with this AI usage, which doesn't seem to be contradicted by anything he himself has said, but it's still very much odd. Anyways, and then I only have one more bit of slop. One more bit of slop, and we can move on from this topic. Animation's not safe either. Yay! Everybody clap. Animators, no. You're also on the chopping block. I literally hate this topic, actually. So, Natasha Lyonne at it again with her Asteria creative-led AI studio. They are putting out an animated short called Chickaboom, which I feel like the word animation is really being stretched here. But yeah, Chickaboom is coming, says the rap. Asteria Film Co. has teamed with the Gotham group Everyday Mischief and Thai Animation Studio, the Monk Studios, for Chickaboom, a new animated short film written and directed by C. Craig Patterson. The voice cast for the short film includes Yara Shahidi, Natasha Lyonne, David Diggs. Why? Why? I don't understand. I'm sorry. I genuinely don't understand. Yara Shahidi is dope. Y'all ever watch Blackish? My only memory of her was as like a positive figure, and now she's forever associated with AI for some reason. I feel the same way about David Diggs. Hamilton, icon. Absolute, why are we doing this? I genuinely want to know why we're doing this. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, Roy Wood Jr. and Tika Sumter. According to the official synopsis, the 10-minute short follows Chica Batson, an aspiring young musician or magician, sorry. Actually, I'm not even going to read this because I literally don't care what this is about. I'm not watching it. What makes the short interesting is that it, according to the press release, utilizes Asteria and Moon Valley's proprietary generative technology to reimagine traditional animation. In other words, to not animate anything. Hold on, give me a second. And I think this is kind of bad, but it's premiering at the Tribeca Film Festival, which this isn't like college film class. Let's all show our work that we've done. This is literally like bad. Tribeca Film Festival. We are now allowing AI generated animation into this. It's kind of similar to what McConaughey was saying about, are we going to have an AI category at the Oscars? Well, if we have AI shorts at the at actual film festivals, then yeah, there would be some sort of weird trickle down effect. So overall, this has been nothing but an absolute L. I don't really have like a happy ending for this. I suspect it's only going to accelerate. And also, I think the main reason I wanted to talk about this, obviously, this is not a new topic. We've been new that this was happening. I do think, though, when I saw like the 7th article about, hey, film person embraces AI on massive scale, either through investing in company, acquiring one, or licensing their voice, I realized I feel like there's enough here for me to like rant a little bit. So that was that. That was that. Somebody said, where's the soul on God? Literally, why? Like, I think it kind of sucks thinking about movies as being made solely for profit. Obviously, I'm no dummy. Well, debatable. But like, I do understand movies have to make money or you can't make them in the first place. But the idea of the only reason a movie existing is just to make money off of something that you AI generated, I think it's just quite baffling to me. I think like I went to school for this. I did my time, 4 years in a university setting, mass communication with a concentration in digital film and television production. All of my professors thought that I was going to crash and burn because ADHD is not very conducive to a college environment. But I turned it into a job somehow. Actually, I did. Here I am. Sometimes I feel so lucky, but then I think about what is happening to my beloved film world. The industry, which was already pretty bad. Things were pretty scary when I was in school trying to figure out how I would possibly ever have a real job. One could argue I still don't, but like, I didn't think this was going to happen. Nobody told me when I graduated in 2018, actually, we were going to bring in computer tools to try to automate a lot of the things that my friends were learning as graphic designers, that my friends were learning as animators, writers. All of this, we were going to be replaced. You told me I couldn't possibly have a job without a degree, so I went into debt for that. And then I come out of it and the job gets automated away by the greediest people imaginable. I am privileged. I got lucky. That's it. I literally recognize anything that I currently have as just a stroke of dumb luck that I didn't somehow get directly affected by this, even though it crops up here in influencer land, but nothing that happens here matters. Like, I really, really, really hate this on a level that goes a little far beyond, oh, quirky commentary video. And I especially hate this for people who are directly affected by it. It sucks. Someone said, I think I've got a dip. I'm also in the industry and this is getting too depressing. Sorry. That's all I had. I started getting really real for a second there because I'm just like, well, anyways, does anybody have anything that they want to say? Does anybody have anything that they want to add before I wrap this up? Because, you know, final call for opinions. In case I missed anything or you feel like maybe there's some additional context I could provide, But I think that's all I had to say on this one, dog. Someone said they told me back in the day to get into robotics to avoid this. Someone said 6 years of art school here. If AI has no more haters, I'm deceased. Someone said Wally warned us about this. Bro, Wally, that's such a good movie. We didn't get the point though. We never do when it comes to that specific type of speculative science fiction. And so then it always becomes true. Someone said free Palestine. Absolutely. That's always a valid thought. Oh, you know what? Actually, I had another meme of the day. I didn't show y'all the meme of the day today because I forgot. But I had one. Here, I'll show you the two that I had. I'll put them both in my OneDrive. Da 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 da. And then I'll show you the one that I wasn't gonna do because I thought maybe it was a little too inflammatory and I didn't want to seem, I don't know, I didn't want the tone to be off, but I still think it's a good image. All right, going to OneDrive. And then after this, I'll record the outro and we can move on to the next thing. Okay, so photo. So this was the initial, or this was the backup meme of the day right here. I think it's very fitting actually to the conversation that we've had about AI. Is this trash? Yes. And yes, but in yellow. I really like this image. I don't even remember what it was used in reference to. Oh, it might have been like, yeah, I don't even remember, but it was something that was pretty garbage. And I thought this was a great picture. So here, go ahead and download that one if you want. I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, but the other one though, that was like a backup. I saw this. Somebody had used this to respond to somebody that was saying like really heinous, like pro-Israel stuff, as people do online a lot, by the way. And I was like, honestly, yeah. I think the context that I saw this one in was literally just somebody posting paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs, ignoring or trying to downplay genocide and make excuses for our United States involvement in our complicity and all of this. And instead of actually responding, somebody just put this image. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to download this. I think instead of arguing with the worst, most anti-human life takes imaginable, I might just drop this occasionally because I can't. I can't do it. Not anymore. So there's that one. Dog. I'm really like, nah. It's also what people don't realize is a lot of this is a psyop too. Like, I know we were overusing the word psyop, but what I mean by this is like people will purposely try to confuse you and dilute the conversation. So I'm going to screenshot right there. I'll leave it there if you want to screenshot. People will literally purposely try to dilute the conversation with a bunch of additional like, oh, well, here's this. Oh, well, what about this? Lots of whataboutisms, lots of like false equivalences that happen all the time when it comes to these. And a lot of times it is actually literally better to not engage because you are not actually like educating them. You're falling for their attempt to miseducate everybody else. It's just a mess, dog. And I'm happy to say I don't remember where I pulled that from because I literally am in so many comment sections, but that one had ratioed the nasty, like weird anti Palestine posts. So the people there were saying it was great. Yay. Fantastic. Anyways, that had literally nothing to do. With anything that we talked about, but I just brought that up because somebody had mentioned Palestine. And I was like, it was on the brain. I didn't want to show it first thing in the stream, but then like, why not? Honestly, why not? Anyways, what else? I think that's it. Everybody say bye. Say bye to YouTube and we will move on from this topic forever. Some say I hate to be that one person, but how long have you been live for? I've been live for 2 hours and 18 minutes, and we've been recording for an hour and 37 minutes, which we are now wrapping because I am going to record an outro. All right. Anyways, that is not all I have to say about AI, but I mean, how much time does one person really truly have? I don't want to find out. Anyway, hopefully you never have to think about this ever again, but you probably will. I know I will try not to the best of my ability, but yeah, I recorded this live right here on YouTube, where I stream quite frequently. Tuesdays, Thursdays, or Saturday. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern time, unless I don't, in which case I'm probably just, I don't know, doing real work with my human brain. But yeah, hopefully I see you in the next video or the next stream, and if not, that doesn't matter at all. Okay, bye. Okay, you can stop saying bye. I flubbed the delivery because I was so used to streaming on like it's Friday. So when I was saying like Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I was like, wait, it's not Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday. Anyways, that was a good one though. I appreciated that. Let's go. Excuse me. Someone said today is a Friday. Today is very much a Friday. Yes. Well, for me anyways. Someone said, why are you live if it's Friday? Because I literally just had another topic. I had like, what did we talk about? Yesterday we talked about the Devil Wears Prada, and I put that one up, and then I had this topic, and this was also just a really easy one. Like, it doesn't really take that much analysis to be like, hey, terrible update. This is what's happening. And then my next stream I have is a little more in depth, so I just kind of wanted to throw this one in there because I thought it would be fun. And also, I didn't even manage to record anything on Tuesday because it was a bad day when it started, but then it turned better. Someone said it's also the first of the month. It is, yeah. It's the first of everything. Oh, by the way, chat. 100 Mile May. I am doing it. I told y'all a couple weeks ago or streams ago, time is definitely not real when you're streaming, that I had this goal that I made up for myself, which I am also holding a couple of my friends to. Now, granted, they are a little spooked by high mileage because they think that 100 miles is a lot. And I'm like, it's not that much. It's a running challenge. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about actually running outside, like touching real actual grass. So like 100 miles. Someone said, are you streaming tomorrow still? I think so. I think so. I don't want the people who usually catch me on Saturday to have missed this one and then been like, what? I wasn't available. So as long as I finish my outline before then, yeah, I probably will. 100 miles, 2 kilometers. It's 160 kilometers. Chat, that is literally so doable in a month. Like, that's really not that bad. So we're doing 161 kilometers in May. Somebody said over 3 miles a day. You could do over 3 miles a day. That's just like a little 5K every day. That's what I'm going to be doing. Except I don't think I'm going to be doing it every day. I think probably I'm just going to go on a few longer runs a few times a week. That way I have rest days. But I'm excited. I really, 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 really want to hold myself to it. I feel like I can do it. Because last week I did like 23 miles and I would essentially only have to do like 25 miles a week. I think. Yeah. 25 times 4. This just in, it equals 100. So 100 Mile May, keep me accountable. I'm going to check back in later and tell you. Or maybe we'll get halfway through the month and I'm like, I never said I was doing that. Someone said maybe I'll try to run some too. Here's the thing. My friends, they're not doing 100 miles because no, but they're doing 30. I think you could do 30 Mile May if you want to. That I told them that's a really good goal. Like a mile a day. Get out there. You know what I mean? Like that's very, 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 very doable. And like it doesn't even take that long to run a mile either. Even if you're not going like super fast, you're just at like a joggy pace, you could literally knock that out in 15 minutes probably. And I feel like, hey, 15 minutes of fun, that's no big deal. But yeah, I don't know why I'm so excited. It's not even different because I've already been running. But something about just putting like a silly name to it makes me excited. Someone says, I thought you meant 100 miles all in one go. Okay. No. I can't even do a half marathon. I can do a half of a half marathon if I had to, but I think I usually tap out. Or I think the most miles I've ever done in a day is 10. What is that actually? I don't know. I don't know what that is in other units. 10 miles to kilometers. Oh yeah, duh. I could just divide it by 10 because we literally just looked up 100. Yeah, I think the most I've done in a day has been 16 kilometers, which is like kind of far, but I mean, people, there are people who literally run this every single day. But yeah, we are not running 100 miles at a time. No, thank you. I like my knees. Someone says you have inspired me. I will also start running. Let's go. Someone said I need more stamina. I just have the stamina for weightlifting. Okay, well, let me tell you this. That's the trickiest thing. I used to not be able to run a single mile in a row. And that's literally not embarrassing. Like, if you right now told me, okay, D'Angelo, saxophone solo, how? I don't know how to play a saxophone. And so I would have to go one note at a time. That's basically what you have to do with running. So if you don't have good stamina, or not good stamina, but if your stamina is not supporting you running a full mile, all you got to do is do what you can do within that stamina. So if that literally means 30 seconds of running and then you got to stop and walk, do it. If that means like you're literally just like, okay, I maybe did half a mile a few seconds at a time, that's fine. The only thing that actually matters is maybe after a rest day, going back out there and doing it again, because eventually all of your numbers will start improving and they'll start kind of blending into each other and you will literally be sailing, dog. You will be cruising. But yeah, don't worry about your stamina. It's not that important. It's one of the most easily improvable things simply just by running, especially if you're a newbie runner. You're actually a little bit lucky because like it's much harder to improve. It's harder to improve when you've been running for a while. Like I'm trying to get my 5K time down under 20 minutes, which that's been really difficult. But getting my 5K time down under 30 minutes was kind of easy. So, it is what it is. You just one thing at a time, for real. Someone said I just noticed the hand tats. Very cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. Actually, you know what? Wait, I don't even know why I'm telling you this because I haven't even told like anybody else. So you're the first to find out. I've collaborated with, and by that I mean sat down and gotten stabbed with tattoo machines. Hella tattoo artists. But you know what? Out of all of them, I think I've chosen the artist for my back piece. For those of you who don't know, when it comes to tatties, people who try to collect a lot of them, the back piece is like a staple. I mean, there's a few ways of doing it. You can also just get a small tattoo on your back if you want, but a lot of people go really big or they go home with back tats. And so that's why my back is actually mostly blank. I maybe have like a tattoo on the back of my neck and I have some on the back of my legs, but like the back itself, there are not very many areas of the human body that are like large, wide, and flat. So it gets dedicated to like these really big pieces. And I think I'm going to have this dude do my back piece because I think consistently this is the tattoo that I'm the happiest with. It's like the weirdest one, this weird clown just like in a sea of weird tribal smoke. And like I also just really like this person's artwork in general, and I'm like, let's just do it. Some sort of canvas. Yeah, I think at some point, not now because I'm not ready for this. Maybe not even this year, but I'm gonna collaborate and just be like, yo, do you want to do a really large, strange picture using a human's entire back? Because you can use mine if you want to. Someone said, do you have a design in mind? Let me show you something. So it's not so much designs. I think I have either two ways of thinking about tats usually. It's either that I will just directly, I have three ways of thinking about tats. I will either directly bring you a piece of artwork and politely ask that you one replicate it on my skin. And I will say it's always my artwork that I drew myself and I'm pretty good at it. Like you can't really easily distinguish which of my tats are like drawn by professional tattoo artists or which ones I myself, as an artist drew. Like for example, this cool little tower scenario that we have going on here is actually one of mine, right? The portal tower That one I love a lot. And it fits in really well with all of my other black and gray chat pieces. But and that's I only do that sometimes if I have like an idea that I'm just really super set on. The vast majority of my other tats I literally just pick off of a wall once I enter the shop. I know that might sound unhinged to you, but it is not to me. I'm just like, oh, that's cool. Just put that on me forever. But the third way that I have of thinking about tattoos would be the vibe. There's also just a vibe. Someone said that's impressive. Thank you. I literally drew for 18 years. 18 years of my life, almost every day. Like, well, maybe not 18 years. I guess I wasn't drawing when I was 0, but literally as early as I remember holding a pencil all the way up through the age of 18, I almost drew every single day. So I am kind of proud of my drawings. But what I was going to say, though, was besides just other people's flash that they were happy to tattoo or things that I draw, they have a third way of trying to ideate tats, and it's a lot more nebulous, to be fair. It's a lot more like floaty and difficult to explain, but trying to pull this right here. I'm going to share this in my OneDrive so you all can see. I've never actually really like shown anybody this, so I hope you enjoy this like Patreon exclusive that you didn't have to pay for, because I don't have a Patreon, because my executive dysfunction, I think, perhaps may work against the idea of routinely delivering content to people on a schedule. And it's okay for me to be flaky as a content creator, because you don't owe anybody money, or you don't owe anybody content. But if people are paying you, you do owe them content. So the idea of me starting a Patreon is the most terrifying thing. I think that would probably be the time my career actually ends, because I would ADHD so hard that everybody would be like, where are the things that we paid for in the D'Angelo scam era? No thanks. Anyways, okay, I found it. All right. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. This is the vibe. It's literally just a folder. It's a folder that I have. Can I make this bigger? Wait, okay, hold on. I'll download it. So some of them are pictures I get from other people, like their own artwork that they put on me. Some of them are my own artwork that they put on me. But also, I'm constantly trying to look for and ideate things that fit the vibe. And this is just a collection of images that I've either seen or like searched for, or sometimes I occasionally will see something new and realize that it fits into the vibe. Essentially, this is like the Bible, or how I like to think about tattoos, or like what I'm doing, I guess, with my body. It's like all of these things might seem a little disparate, right? Like here you have some random sort of antlery, what is the word I'm looking for? Abstract design. Here you have a Gothic tower. Here you have a character from Xenoblade Chronicles. This fourth one right here would be a frame from an anime, which wasn't even a good anime, but that's still an interesting frame. This is the logo for the anime Kizneighbor. This right here is more Xenoblade Chronicles stuff. This is from the Lord of the Rings, but I was like, oh yeah, that really fits. This is really crazy looking calligraphy, right? The Final Fantasy gunblade that lightning wields, as well as the general visual language, cyber sigilism, or even bolder sort of neo-tribal tats, like Baroque sort of ornamentation, stuff like that. I think this is Yoshitaka Amano, who, I mean, I'm literally always inspired by, like the Kingdom Hearts logo, you know, this manga panel. This random, I think, album cover I saw one time, and I was like, yep, that's it. This festooned jewelry tattoo, these wacky like guns with charms on them from Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet. More cyber sigilism designs, the skill tree from the video game Final Fantasy X, this sort of logo for Eve City, this poster, I don't even remember what that was for. All of these things together, in my mind, are just one thing. all of this just kind of looks the same to me. I either know it or it either is or it isn't. So my idea for my back piece is I'm going to go to the artist and I'm going to provide this, and I'm just going to be like, hey, I promise I'm not going to nitpick. Honestly, as long as it's kind of inspired by this general shape language, that's what I'm looking for. And then whatever I get, I'm going to get it. I'm going to be happy. I happen to know that this artist already, a lot of their artwork already kind of fits into that specific vibe. So I think it's going to be really, really dope. It's going to be really, really dope. Someone said such a sick mood board. Thank you. Someone said my sister has designed all her own tattoos and sketched them onto herself with liquid eyeliner. That's impressive. That is very impressive. Someone said, did Monster Energy rip off the Final Fantasy logo? Monster Energy almost fits, but I like it a little sharper. Reading chat. Someone says this inspires me to sketch mine. Yeah, chat, that's the thing though. Like, y'all have to know. I've said this before. Even if you are not like maybe always drawing things, or if you feel like there's some sort of skill maybe deficit, there isn't. There is literally no actual skill level that you need in order to draw and bring it to a tattoo artist. You could literally give them what you think is the worst drawing of all time, and they will still be able to cook something up for you. Don't worry. They're not going to let you walk out looking crazy. So that's how you go. Someone says, I didn't consider jewelry tattoos an option. Oh, I have a whole new world for you. Okay, so listen. I'm so glad to be one of the first people to introduce jewelry tattoos to somebody. Look. Okay. I think that many people think of tattoos as being super ugly. And they are. they can be. I think for me, it's actually a very important part of tattoos. I want them to be dark, heavy, and ugly on me. It fits the aesthetic that I'm going for. But did you know that they can actually be very, very like light and airy and elevated and soft? Because I'm telling you right now, jewelry tattoos are amazing. They're amazing. There's the like, you can't believe these things are real, but they absolutely are. Oops, I didn't mean a bracelet. Images. Look, dog, look at some of the stuff that people do. These things age pretty well too. Like, it's not hard to find like aged jewelry tattoos. You literally have some of the most like talented people. There's people who are even like kind of famous for this, like Ryan Ashley, who will do things like this. Like this is not AI. These are not fake. This is really what it looks like, and it'll fade into this kind of like soft, permanent jewelry, like delicate. I saw someone say delicate aesthetic. Someone said Ryan Ashley is the epitome of jewelry tats to me. Yeah, it's kind of hard to beat her execution of this, but like, dude, tattoos can be so like so soft, so like beautiful and stuff like that. So yeah, they don't even always have to be just like crazy dark collections of like black pulling ink the way I like them. You can get any kind of tattoo you want. One that I also think is really interesting that a lot of people are experimenting with, especially anybody can get this, but I'm recommending this for my pale peeps out there. Okay. Let me see if I can find it. Porcelain tattoos. Okay, yes, cool. I personally think that this would look good on anybody, honestly, but if you really want to like mimic the look of porcelain and you happen to be like hella pale, one thing you may be able to get away with is this crazy looking like porcelain look. Again, like I think this would look cool on anybody, but there is something about that specific level of contrast. Like I don't even think people realize the full gamut of what tattoos actually can be. Porcelain tattoos are crazy, dog. They're so neat looking. Also one that I think is really neat. Someone said I can get away with that. That would be so bright on me. Yeah, the effect will be stronger on certain people than others. Let me see if I can find it. Yes, I found you. People even do like these kintsugi tattoos, which is essentially kind of based off of this idea of like repairing cracks with gold. So you have like stuff like this that people do. There's so many materials. Oh, glitter tats. Have y'all ever heard of glitter tats? Do y'all like glitter? That's a thing too. And I've also seen them age pretty well. Images. Okay, great. I don't know why this is like literally the grainiest photo ever, but tell me glitter tats aren't cute. You can also do like a patch tattoos, which I think are really great. Someone said white tattoos are gorgeous. White tattoos can be really, really beautiful. Like, dog, you could literally just do whatever the actual heck you want at this point. You don't have to look like somebody's like dark demented sketchbook if that's not your personal aesthetic. Someone says I'm not, but I'm sure tan skin is good for other tats. My stance on skin color and tattoos, literally any tattoo looks good on any skin color, and it's a period. It's not an asterisk. I think like that includes color, by the way. I think the only thing you have to understand is how color looks on you. So hold on, let me see. Color on dark skin. What people, there's a lot of like laziness coming from the tattoo world, and so you get tattoo artists who will like inaccurately tell you that like, no, if you have dark skin you can't get color tattoos because they're not going to show up. Dog, then what is this? Color tattoos actually show up very beautifully on dark skin. It literally looks amazing. The only difference obviously is that you just may have less contrast between your skin color and the color of the tattoo, because your skin essentially makes like a filter over the tattoo. It's under your skin, right? So it's being filtered through your actual skin color. But like, yeah, don't let anybody tell you, no matter who you are or what you look like, that like, no, we can't do that one for you. They may have to do it in a specific way that maybe works better with your skin tone or ages better, but like, dog, everybody should get color tattoos if they want to. Someone say you're dark skinned. I'm not dark skinned. I've said this before and nobody has ever disproven it, but I feel like I am like literally 50%. I'm 50%. If you take the lightest humans and the darkest humans, I feel like I'm right in the middle. Someone says, is it wrong to say that it's kind of like using tan paper? No, I think that's exactly how I think of it as an artist designing tattoos for my own self. I think of it as designing on darker paper, which is a thing that people do a lot. They do this a lot, by the way. Someone said, and a lot of tattoo artists will do a color test for you so you can see how it will show up on your skin. Yeah, exactly. They should definitely be willing to do that. But yeah, like, sadly, due to myths that you can't see color in dark skin, you don't have a lot of representation for this, which I think really sucks. But when you do find it, you easily see like, wait, this looks good as hell. Like, what were y'all talking about? Why are y'all lying? Why are y'all lying to us? Someone says no one ever has real dark skin on their portfolio. Oh, people are so bad about their portfolios too. Like, it's bad. And then it's a self-fulfilling thing where like you're going looking for tattoos that will do you right. But then like you don't know because they don't have anybody on their profile. So then you don't go and they don't have anybody on their portfolio. I really wish people would be more proactive in, but it's okay. Like by people, I mean tattoo artists. Be more proactive in making sure that diversity is there. But what can you do? All I can do is try to spread the good word. You can get any kind of tattoo that you want and you're going to look fire. I swear to God. I swear to God. Someone said, I've gotten henna before many times, but I'm nervous about ever getting a real tattoo, mostly because of the pain. Plus, I'm just very indecisive. Well, it does hurt a lot. And it does last forever, as you know. So I feel like those are pretty good reasons to not get one. I wouldn't suggest it. But me saying but, okay, y'all do know I'm not a reliable source because clearly I'm a little bit biased. I will say it hurts, but not as much as you may think, depending on the location. Certainly not the type of pain that like you can't withstand. You know what I mean? Someone said D'Angelo would be at 50% if skin colors were like on a bubble tea chart. Someone says it feels wrong to call your skin tone mid. Yeah, no, it's very much not mid. It's peak, like all skin tones. But I know what you mean. It's literally in the middle. It's in the middle. No, I think like skin in general is dope. I don't know. I feel like I sound like such a kumbaya idiot when I start talking about like people's external appearance. But as an artist, literally somebody who drew all the time, I just think all skin tones are the right answer. Like I really love my complexion and I really love like drawing dark skin is like dope. Also lighting it. People do not know how to light darker people, but when they do, it's literally a thing of beauty. It's just crazy. And then also being pale is actually pretty fun to draw too. Cause it's like, damn, you're translucent. Let me try my best. You presented me a little bit of a challenge, but I'm going to figure it out. It's hilarious. Someone says steampunk tattoos on brown skin is gorgeous. That sounds gorgeous. I'm literally imagining that like, yes to all. For real. Someone said they do not know how to light darker people. No, they really don't. And they just give up too. It's bad. It's okay. No, it's not okay. And it's not okay. But hopefully people keep working on this. I think the thing about like darker people is like, bro, they're just people. If you don't know how to light human beings, you're bad at your job. Sorry. If you a fashion photographer, Lupita Nyong'o shows up with her like high fashion looking self and you scramble, you need to get better at your job. It's a skill issue. If you have 50,000 camera tricks, lighting tricks to make sure that insert any other person looks as good as possible, you should also be as good lighting other people as well. Someone said translucent boy summer. Let's go. Someone said I am translucent. Time to get all the colors of the rainbow out, brother. Exactly. No, like there's just, I don't know. Like skin color is just so like deeply on the outside of you that like the way people see it as a reason to judge or whatever is insane to me, because I'm just like, bro, the dice literally could have been rolled differently and we could have been reversed right now. Little do you know. But sadly we have colorism and white supremacy and all of these other things, and I'm like, no. Terrible. The thing about darker people is they're just darker people. That's my official quote. The thing about darker people is they're just people but darker. So figure it out, lighting artists, please, for the love of God. Somebody said I almost gave my video professor a stroke when we had my pale self scheduled to interview the darkest track star at our school in the dining hall on live. I felt awful for the cameraman. Okay, I will say this. This is not me making an excuse. This is not an excuse. It does get tricky though. It does get tricky. When you do have like the full gamut of human skin tone and you have to light that in one shot, no, that's not an easy thing to do. But it's still your job to figure it out. Period. I will admit it's easier when you don't have to think about like the darkest shadows and like the brightest highlights simultaneously. But alas, contrast is a real thing that exists that you should be thinking about. Someone said, I don't see color. Yeah, the phrase I don't see color really... Okay, thanks. Everyone else does. That's how I feel about the phrase I don't see color, especially coming from people who are less colorful, perhaps, than me. I'm just like, you don't see color, dog. Everyone else is seeing it, so this isn't helping me right now. I very much see color. I have no choice because I'm seen as a color. It's okay though. Maybe one day we'll get to a point where it quote unquote doesn't matter, but we'll see. Someone said icky statement. Yeah, no, like you do see color. You do. Maybe you're not gonna judge me, hopefully, based off of the color of my skin, but like we are not there yet. We ain't there. Someone said, my kid always tells me about some kid from his school that said he doesn't see color, he smells it. I can't tell if that's just racist or like synesthesia. Like if you're talking about people who like perceive sensory things differently, then that's fine. But if you're talking about it in the context of race, I'm scared. I'm literally scared. Um, I'm literally scared. Also, some people don't see color literally. Maybe, perhaps, or they could be colorblind or have other things like that. I've got that in my fam. But like, obviously, I'm talking about people who mean to say they're completely always going to treat people the exact same, despite, the outside. Someone said, I see all the colors. I'm a bird. Let's go. Reading chat. Someone says a white kid trying to be edgy. Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Racism. That's what I was guessing. I guessed. Listen, some people can't smell color. I mean, maybe not exactly like that, but like synesthesia is a thing that happens. I want to be open to that experience, but no, that's not what that person was speaking about. Absolutely not, dog. Reading chat. And someone said, or actually blind. Oh yeah, some people they don't be seeing at all, and yet we still out here. They really out here. Reading chat. Someone says my sister-in-law only sees yellow. It's a fun thing to clown about. Okay, I could not even imagine that specific form of color blindness. Does she like yellow? Does she wear it a lot in her life? That would be, what would really suck? That's like the only thing that you like easily make out, and you also just hate that color. You're just like, dog, I don't want to wear yellow clothing. I don't want to pass a school bus. Miss me with that. Absolutely miss me with that. Someone says, I hear colors in music. Nice. I don't like hear, I don't have synesthesia in any way, but I do feel like music texturally sometimes. I really do. And someone says, how do we know it's yellow? Okay. I will say this. Someone said I just got back. What are we talking about? Color. Just color. I know this is going to sound like me being an anti-science, like influencer idiot. No. I promise I'm not playing dumb. I'm not playing dumb for a clip. How do we know that we all see the same color? How could you ever possibly prove that? I think like, and I don't even mean that we all might have slight differences in our organs. Eyes are organs, right? So obviously maybe we're all seeing slightly differently, but this is not what I mean. Like RGB wheel. Okay. Images. Okay. Gosh, these pictures are so bright. Okay. Try not to be literally blinded by this, but like when I pull up this RGB wheel, literally when I say that this is red on the right and you agree with me that it's red, obviously, how do I know that we're seeing the same thing though? We know that like if we see whatever color this is on the right, red on the right, Maka dog whistle. No, just kidding. If we see this, we could pick it out in another context. Okay, we see a field of poppies and we're like, yeah, that's that same color that was on the right of the color wheel. But how does that actually mean we're perceiving it the same way? I don't get that. So, someone says they don't. Yeah, we can't know that. Someone says we don't. It's called qualia. It's a scientific fact that we don't know. I study neuroscience. So we don't know. We literally don't know. This could look like any arrangement of colors to you. Just as long as they're consistent, we would agree that this one is called cyan. This one is called lime green. But like, what if what I think is red actually looks a little closer to blue to you? How would I, and you just call blue a different thing? I don't know, dog. It's so weird. Reading chat. Someone said cones in the eyes. Ain't it like science proved as functionally our range is consistent? I mean, we can consistently pick out the same colors and agree upon them. I just don't know how we know that we're seeing the same thing. It's very odd. Someone said this is messing with my brain too much. Yeah, no, like I know what red looks like to me because that's what, when I was like, 0 years old, my mom was like, red. And I was like, red. Oh, it was probably Dr. Seuss. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. But what if that thing that my mom was pointing to, if I had like her exact way of seeing the world, I would have been like, wait, that's not red. That looks like this. Because I don't know what she's seeing. It's so odd. Someone says blue is one of the more complicated colors because blue and green is one of the wider parts of our visual light spectrum. That's interesting. That's kind of cool though, because the sky, sorry, this sounds so stupid, but like the sky is blue. So that means there's, I don't know how to make that make sense. But in my head, it makes sense that blue is one of the more complex colors, and also the sky and the ocean are blue. Like there's just more to perceive, bro. Someone says it changes over time. Okay, stop. Now you're scaring me. How would I know if it changes? Do I know if it changes over time? Or is it so gradually that I'm like 80 calling something red when if I was like 10, I would have easily called that blue? That pisses me off a lot. Someone said barely anything is blue. Okay, see, I don't even know what that means. That's too scary for me. Someone says, I remember thinking this in high school art class, and because you really can't prove that, huh? You really can't. Someone says, I'd argue it doesn't matter as long as we can all agree that the color is named that. Then how it shows up doesn't matter. Words are made for the sake of communication. I agree. I do agree. It's not like we need to necessarily standardize this. We only standardize our communication about it. That way, hey, we're talking about art. What color is my background? Pink, you know? But it's still really interesting. Someone said this question has been bugging me for years. These are the things I've thought about ever since I was like a kid, and like you think you're really smart and then you get a little older and you're like, wow, all my kid thoughts are so stupid. But I've been re-entering my 20s, or no, I'm not re-entering my 20s. That happened last decade. I entered my 20s a long time ago. I've been progressing through my late 20s is what I was trying to say. And I've been reevaluating all of the stupid questions I had as a kid, and I realized that actually I was really smart. And in many ways, I was smarter than maybe the smartest I'll ever be. And this was one of my good questions that I had. Someone says, I want to know how others see. Me too. I want to see the world through your eyes. Until it happened. Then I changed my mind. That's a song by Phoebe Bridgers. It's actually really good. Kyoto. Day Off in Kyoto. Do y'all like Phoebe Bridgers? Does anybody here like Phoebe Bridgers? I think she's cool. Here, I'll pull her up. Maybe you've never heard of Phoebe. That's fine. She makes indie, I guess like indie rock, indie pop music, indie folk, according to this overview from Wikipedia. I think she's pretty good. I think Phoebe Bridgers is pretty good. I think she's a really good songwriter. I've been a fan of her for years. I like pretty much all of her solo stuff. I like her one collaboration with SZA. I thought was pretty fun. Oh, and her stuff in Boy Genius. Is that some of the best rock music to exist, or am I actually tripping? It's her, Julian Baker, and Lucy Dacus all in a super group called Boy Genius, making these like rock songs, which get it? It's like the group is Boy Genius, but where are the boys at? They're not necessary. Like, I swear to God, Boy Genius has some crazy stuff. Also, they need to drop, because I feel like it's been a while. I low-key feel like it's been a while since they've dropped anything, but I'm telling you, I also like these people individually. Julian Baker is really good, and Lucy Dacus, I like a lot of her stuff too. But like together, there's something together. There's some sort of gestalt effect that happens with Boy Genius where they are more than the sum of their parts, and someone said not strong enough. It's truly not strong enough for me. Always an angel, never a god. I think that's that song. But yeah, a lot of their... No, I think all of their music is good. Someone said my ex loved Boy Genius, so unfortunately I can't listen to them anymore. No! What? That sucks. Here's what I hope happens for you. Maybe they will release a new project, and then since your ex is your ex and you're no longer associated with them, you could fall in love with their new music. Hopefully. But that kind of sucks really bad. Someone said thoughts on Bo Burnham. Probably problematic thoughts on Bo Burnham. He's funny for sure. I do definitely think some of his comedy is like crazy. Like things that I wouldn't necessarily repeat or say, but I do laugh, honestly. Like I don't know if I should say this. Keep in mind this is going to come across as really crass. But like, for example, Bo Burnham, this isn't going to make any sense to you. I know it's not going to make any sense. Can I spell Burnham? As somebody who actually has struggled with suicidal ideation, I don't know how to explain in a way that actually makes sense that like the song Kill Yourself is kind of cathartic. I know that's stupid. I know. I can't change grief, right? I think sometimes when I'm at my lowest point, I just think about the song. I'm like, I'm not going to do it. Like, he makes it sound so stupid, I think. And for me, it's helpful to hear someone say it aloud. Because then I'm just like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I have a very, very weird relationship with Bo Burnham's artwork. And that actually part of it has gotten me through some really deeply dark times. But if I was to explain that to somebody else, it might sound really bad. So I just typically don't talk about it. Someone said dark humor. Yeah. I don't know how to explain, like, kill yourself. That's a pretty cathartic. That might have stopped me from doing it sometimes. Uh-oh. Someone said I wasn't expecting that take. Yeah, like I said, it's probably a problematic take, but I literally can't change the past, dog. Someone said I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. The ideation be crazy, dog. It'd be crazy. I think sometimes you just literally need the thought like outside of you, externalized in any way possible, and then it's easier to move past because you can stop obsessing over it. Or at least that's my experience. that's my personal experience of just like hearing it aloud and not in my own head. It's like, oh, it doesn't live here. That's the thing I think I struggle with so much, is like it feels like it lives here, but then seeing it externally, I'm like, it doesn't live here, it's out there. But yeah, nothing about that particular strain of depression makes any sense at all, which is why I typically don't talk about the darker parts of it. None of it makes any sense at all. Oh, by the way, do you know, since we're here, wait, someone said, because you hear it outside yourself and it's not such a weird thing to say. Yeah, no, I can't change the past. It did help me, but I don't really keep up with bro. That's what I will say. I haven't watched like his recent stuff, even though I don't even think he has any recent stuff. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Someone says it's definitely not a problematic take. If it can be cathartic, then it really is helpful. Yeah, sometimes this kind of thing might be what people need. Yeah, I don't know. The obvious best case scenario would be me never having any thoughts like that and then not having to do weird things in order to move past them. But alas, someone says, who are your favorite comedians? I think hands down. I don't, hold on. Let me think about this. I have two people tied for this, I think. Nobody was like this funny at this time. I think Lucille Ball, like, not she in her show, she seems kind of like stupid, right? No, actually, like, ruthlessly smart business person. She was so funny and so good at her job and such a good producer of media, and I think a lot of those episodes have actually aged well. That is the weirdest thing. I think for as old as I Love Lucy is, obviously a sitcom from 1951 is going to have a lot of problematic things in it, duh. But at the same time, there are a lot of I Love Lucy episodes that are still literally just as funny now as they were before. I'm gonna go ahead and say the person I have her tied with, though, dog, Carol Burnett is so funny. She's basically why I can't pick one person, because I definitely remember seeing a lot of Carol Burnett stuff when I was younger, and I'm just like, how is it possible? I was always watching things on two levels. Yes, obviously laughing, but then I was also thinking, like, how is it possible to like own the frame this much? I don't understand how a person can like own the frame as hard as Carol Burnett does And so maybe these two people could potentially be tied for favorite comedian. I think the thing is, Robin Williams, oh, he was so good though. Like, oh my gosh. I think the thing is about like comedians, I've been burned before. I've been burned. Wah, wah, wah. Oh no. Dave Chappelle, who I never would have described as my favorite comedian, and actually low-key has always had really problematic stuff in his humor, but was still funny. Just kind of turning into something like this is like, uh-oh. So I think I am deeply unwilling to choose anybody who is currently active as my favorite comedian. I know Carol Burnett's still kicking and may she continue to do so. But I think like, even though I love me some, I like Kenan Thompson. I think he's pretty funny. I like Josh Johnson, for example. I like who else? I really don't like that many comedians. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Wait. I just remembered her. Hold on. I gotta make sure I'm getting her name right. Dog. She is so funny. Atsuko Okatsuka. She is hilarious. Okay, so listen. I am not gonna crown her my fave comedian or anything like that. But she is so funny. I love me a good, weird, uncomfortable, cringe Atsuko Okatsuka stand-up set. Dog, she's so funny. So maybe there are definitely people who do comedy that I think are pretty funny. Someone said Bob the drag queen. Actually, a lot of drag performers are. A lot of drag queens are much, much funnier than your average weird man who gets an HBO special, especially today in the age of Andrew Schultz's and whatever that one guy is, Matt Rife with the face. But I definitely don't think comedy guys are ready for that conversation. Like, for example, if you were to take like if you were to take like your average Netflix bro like Matt Rife or Andrew Schultz or whatever and put them in a room with like Trixie and Katya, they would kill him. He would die. And that's what I don't think that y'all realize. Y'all are literally not operating on the same level as, honestly, your average drag queen is usually pretty funny. So I feel like it kind of depends on what you mean by comedian. I think a lot of people are generally seen as maybe other things like, oh, I'm a drag performer or I'm this, but like they may also be a comedian high key and they might also be pretty funny as well. Someone said that would make him cry. Yeah, no, he would not withstand it. I'm sorry. Listen, if I had to pick, who would be funnier? A comedy duo of Matt Rife and Andrew Schultz versus like Trixie and Katya. It's them every day. It's not even like a question. It's not even a question, dog. So Trixie and Katya would demolish. They would kill. It would be very violent. It would be bad, but I would be laughing the entire time. The entire time. Someone says lack of personality would be so obvious. For real. I'm in love with everything that Jinx is doing. Yeah, somebody needs to make a video essay like who can actually do research about how anything that allegedly Netflix comedy is supposed to be promising us can literally just be found in the world of drag by people who put much, 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 much more effort into their onstage presence and like just the wittiness. Oh, I have an answer for my favorite comedian who is currently active. Because I've got my greats. Robin Williams for sure. Like Lucille Ball, Carol Burnett. My favorite comedian who's currently active, hands down, you will never, ever, ever budge me on this. It's Seaway. I don't know why I didn't think about her. I think it's because, again, like, she seems like she has another job before comedian. I think of her as like an interviewer, but she is absolutely a comedian. Oh, Quinta Brunson. is also really funny, but that's not what I'm getting at here. It's her. it's like I feel like there's no other way for me to answer this in an honest, authentic way. It's just Z-Way. She's my favorite comedian of all time who is currently active. Nobody consistently makes me laugh that hard, and also she's like really impressive. Like she quick with it. She quick with it. A lot of people they're funny, but not everybody can be funny like that. And in the room with some very funny people as well. So yeah, Z-Way, hands down. And then like, but like, I think I'm misspelling her name. No, I'm not. Quinta is so funny though. So like, what am I actually supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? She's literally... Yeah, I don't have a favorite. I don't have a favorite. Sorry. I literally cannot answer this. Like, dog, Abbott Elementary is so funny. It's so funny. And I usually like, I hate sitcoms a lot of times. I do not find them funny, but Abbott Elementary hits. It really does hit. Also, everybody in that cast is like crazily talented as well. Like, she's good at like assembling the Avengers, honestly. Someone said don't forget Kiki Palmer. See, like, okay, I'm done, because like we could literally say her all day. We could literally say her all day. She's also really funny. She's funny like naturally, just not even in like a comedian like context, I think. But yeah, there's a point here about mediocrity that I'm not gonna make. We're gonna keep the conversation up here. I'm not gonna go down here and talk about there's a point here to be made about mediocrity and who gets to be considered a comedian versus who has to be naturally funnier than everyone else in the room to even get a job in the first place. But that's okay. We are here for a good time. We are truly here for a good time. Someone said, I honestly think the difference is that these people have personas where the weird dude that get Netflix specials have an undertone of confessing who they really are. I agree though. Like literally, you're exactly right. Like it's very much a lot of this Netflix style stand-up is giving, you're just preaching to me from a soapbox, probably some weird anti-woke stuff, even if those are not the exact words you're using, versus people who are actually just reacting in like a witty, funny, or subversive way. It's not the same thing. Truly not the same thing. Reading chat. So I love that I'm finding amazing artists and comedians through this discourse. Okay, yeah. Here, I will say, if you got to check anybody out from this conversation, watch a Z-Way interview. She has a lot of great ones, so go to her channel and find somebody that she interviewed that you know of, and you'll see how funny she is. Watch an episode of Abbott Elementary. Shout out Quinta and the entire writing team. And then also maybe watch an episode of I Love Lucy, because I swear to God, it's still pretty funny, dog. It's still pretty funny. Someone said, how do we feel about Caleb Heron? I think Caleb Heron is... From What We Do in the Shadows? Is that who that is? There's a lot of names, chat. I want to make sure. This is so funny. We've never done like a comedy stream. Yes. Oh, he funny. I think I love this guy's work, if I'm not mistaken. What We Do in the Shadows in general. Wait. No. This is not him. Who is the guy from What We Do in the Shadows? I'm mixing up my comedians. What We Do in the Shadows. Oh, Harvey Guillen. Okay, wait. Who is Caleb Heron then? Sorry, I haven't watched What We Do in the Shadows in like years, so don't hold this against me. Have I ever seen him do anything? Jurassic World, Pizza Movie, Porch Girl, I Used to Be Funny, The Devil Wears Prada 2. These are all things that I haven't seen. Sweethearts, Trash Mountain. Okay, rearranging my opinion. This guy is funny. I like Harvey Guillen. I can't exactly speak to Caleb Heron because is this my first time learning about him? Maybe. But I don't know. This person seems cool as well. Someone said Betty White, just like Lizzie. Oh my God, Betty White is so good, honestly. Someone said Caleb Heron has a great stand-up on HBO. Well, I'll check him out if you're saying, look, is Caleb going to hate crime me? That's all I want to know. I can never tell. I can never tell when it comes to finding a new comedian. The only thing, oh, so Z-Way has an interview. Okay, that's going to be a good entry point. I'll start there. The only thing I want to know when it comes to comedians is, do they secretly want to hate crime me? If you're saying I'm not going to get called a slur in the middle of a Caleb here in stand-up, then I will put one on. I will do it. Someone said absolutely not. Okay, great. If I feel like not like I'm under attack somehow, then yeah, I'll happily check his stuff out. Someone said he interviewed Z-Way. Oh, he interviewed Z-Way? Or did Z-Way interview him? Now we're getting like Z-Wayception. But look, as you can see, lots of really great ones. Someone said Caleb Heron is not Caleb Hammer, just an FYI, because people get them confused. That is unfortunate. Justice for Caleb Heron, who is very much not Caleb Hammer. That is unfortunate. Someone said he might say a slur, just not that one. That's kind of funny. No, sorry, just kidding. Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, honestly, I don't do this online because, like, YouTube can't really distinguish the difference, but, like, Can I just say it, chat? Can I just say it? Why not be like inflammatory? I can say as many slurs as I want. The ones that would apply to me, I don't use them for other people, obviously, because that's not exactly the same thing. But when it does come to ones that commonly get hurled my way, I might pick that up and be like, oh no, thanks, I might use that later. I'm sorry, it's just funny. Like, it's not funny, and you shouldn't do it, but I'm a big slur reclaimer offline. I'm a big proponent of it. I also think I like follow a lot of artists or like listen to a lot of music that does that as well. So you might pop through one of my playlists and you'd be like, yo, did they just say? And I'm like, yeah, they did. Deal with it. Absolutely deal with it. Anyways, but I don't use them for other people. I exclusively reserve them for me, mostly. Someone said I can say this, someone said what? No, not any of them. I feel like there's probably 95% of them that would never cross my mind. But if you're calling me a slur, you can't also tell me that I can't say it. That's my unpopular opinion. If it actually applies to a group that I'm in, nah, dog, we reclaiming that one. Someone said, what do you think of John Mulaney? I don't really like, I don't think I've watched like a full special of his, so I don't have like super crazy thoughts on that. Someone said playlist revealed then. Okay, I'll give you an example. No, should I give you an example? Yes, I'll give you an example. Like, I've recently been into the album Monarch of Monsters by Violet Pony because it's really great. Actually, it's kind of a crazy album. I can't stop listening to it. But on that album, you will encounter the F slur. Why? Because Violet Pony is some sort of like hateful anti-gay person? No, because Violet is queer. It's like it's literally just part of the artwork. It is a word that exists and it does have utility to people who it frequently gets used against. And I feel like low key that kind of art can be like really, really, really off-putting to people. But it's not to me. I understand. I understand the vision. It makes sense in its own context. For real. Someone said based in Pony Build. It's a good album, bro. I don't care. You could be like a brony and put out an album and I'll be like, it's still good. I'm still listening to it. It can have ponies on the cover. And I'm just like, well, is the music good though? You could put furries on your album cover. You could put anime there. You could do all these things. Someone said, D'Angelo, do you like Jane Remover? I consider myself a pretty big Jane Remover fan. Yeah, I think Jane is awesome. I really like their sound. It's awesome. Reading chat. Someone said, I love Violet Pony. Yeah, Violet's awesome. Someone says, do you rock with underscores? Yeah, and also I saw somebody in my chat say that they had listened to Underscores' album You at my recommendation, and I got so happy because yes, it's really that good. Only 9 tracks. Do you love electronic pop? You would probably like the album You by Underscores, all one word. It's pretty great. She's great. Someone said I'd never be offended by someone saying the F slur when they're queer. Yeah, it's not offensive. Yeah, it wasn't being used in that way. I completely agree with you. I feel the same way. So it's a Jamie with the best. Someone mentioned Arca. Arca is super dope too, for real, for real. I like her entire direction. It's very interesting. Very interesting. Reading chat. Someone said, do you like Cobra? I feel like I've heard Cobra like featured on other music that I've listened to and I liked it, but I don't think I'm super familiar with her discography. So maybe I should try harder. Maybe I should try harder. FK Twigs fans unite. Yeah. So do you like black metal? Maybe not like as a genre. I do like a lot of the songs that get kind of sometimes labeled metal, but it's not like something I seek out exactly. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever. I don't know if that makes any sense. Reading chat. Someone said, have you heard the missing song that was more recently recovered called Death Metal by Panchico? Yeah, I really like Panchico stuff. I have some of the tracks off of their latest album saved in one of my playlists. Some marginalized communities need to openly and proudly reclaim source more often. Exactly, but don't tell that to YouTube. YouTube is like, y'all are saying what? And there's no sort of nuance, but it's okay. It's okay though. Everybody has to do what you got to do in this world. I think too, how to word this. I think this is not something that I feel like we discuss a lot with people outside the group because it doesn't matter to you at all. But like, I still think it's kind of interesting. I think the thing is like, if somebody is trying to reduce you to something, a single word, as terrible as it is, and then you yourself are kind of like, yes, and it actually really switches up the conversation in a pretty powerful way. I think that's like, but that's not something you can do if you're not in a group. That's why people seem to be really confused about what it means to reclaim something. You literally have no power to reclaim something that does not actually affect you. Like, I'll give an example as a man. Let's say there's some misogynistic slurs against women. I've heard there were a few. I can't like reclaim those by using them a bunch. I'm not doing that. That's not real. But however, if that was something you yourself were like, actually, I am this, that, the other, like, that's for you to do. It's every conversation for every group to have amongst themselves of where do we go in a world that tries to reduce you to a single thing. But like, I will always cringe when people think that reclaiming is like a group activity. Maybe it's not a group project. It's not a group project. It's really not. And you are not on the roster. Okay. That's how I feel. Personally. Someone says as a queer immigrant woman, I can't say many, but it makes me uncomfortable. Yeah, there's still uncomfortable, horrible, ugly, terrible words at the end of the day. I think sometimes when I see them pop up in artwork, they can be used by people in interesting ways. And someone says, when I was in the closet, I would cringe at the word lesbian. Yeah. Well, people say it like it's a slur, though. It's really weird. People say literally every single form of identity like it's actually a bad thing. But yeah, I think like gay, lesbian, I mean, lesbians are gay, but like none of this is a slur. You can call people gay. It's okay. And then you get into like really, really weird territory where like then in people's attempt to not say the actual normal words, they start saying really weird things. So like you have older people and they don't want to say gay, so they'll refer to you as like homosexuals, and it's like, oh no, someone said when the word queer was being reclaimed, I was so afraid to say it because it was a slur in my hometown. I still low-key think though that like sometimes I don't think there's enough space in this discourse for people who are still deeply uncomfortable with these terms. I will say that. I have seen people get talked over. Like queer is a pretty good example. I've seen people get talked over where it's like, well, I'm just still kind of uncomfortable with this word. And it's like, nope, get in, loser. We're going reclaiming, like dragging you into the bold new future. But it is literally completely okay to be a queer person who's just like, no, because literally like it just is about self-identification. You shouldn't have to identify as any way that you want. You're not being queerphobic by still having residual hangups or trauma based off of a word that was actually, well, traumatic and bigoted, honestly. I think as long as you're not trying to like stop other people from identifying the ways they want to, it's not really that big of a deal, which I have never, I've seen it, but like not usually. Someone said, I understand people still internally cringing at the word queer, but the reclamation of it community-wide has been doing a lot of good. Both of these things can be true at the same time. That's how I feel, yeah. I think, like, also queer, like, helps me a lot because without it, I actually would not really have any... I wouldn't have any real in. I mean, I would maybe have a couple, but what happens if you are, say, LGBT, but you're not LBTI or A? The Q helps a lot. For me, now granted, I do fall under a couple of those ones, like probably the A, and by some like metrics, non-binary definitely falls under the trans umbrella, but like it's a useful term. It's a useful term for sure. Someone said same. Yeah, I think there's a lot of queer folk where like, dog, that was the last chance we had to possibly get it right. To possibly have a word that could, even if you squint, sort of maybe apply to me. It's the Q. It's literally the Q. Someone said, I'm also not in the acronym. I need the Q. Yeah. I mean, the acronym goes on as long as it needs to. LGBTQIA2S plus, right? But for people who are not in that short version, the Q can be very helpful. Someone said, fellow ace. Yes, the A got me a little bit. I do happen to be a spec, cause period. Let's go. Someone said they're trying to bring the R slur back. I'm tired of humanity, except y'all. Yeah, no, see, you can't reclaim that. You cannot reclaim an ableist slur. You're not doing anything by doing that. Like, gosh, it's so bad. It's so bad. Someone said, bruh, so many queer people will exclude you if you're in the queue and nowhere else. Yeah. Yeah. The LGBTQ plus community is like a big, beautiful party where sometimes bad things happen at parties too, though. Sometimes parties can be really exclusionary, and sometimes parties have a guest list and a dress code. And sometimes parties are a party can be anything. And that's how I feel sometimes about the community. I try more so to focus on like the beautiful and inclusive parts of it where like, yes, we're all in this together, but oh god. Enter Alphabet Mafia strain, which by the way, like, is so not a real thing to me, even though I experience it, because it's like, why are you doing this right now? What are we doing, dog? What about human rights for all of us and none of us being hate crimes? Instead of you're in this community, but you're worried about what these other people in this community are doing, and you're like, no, you don't get to be part of this community. It's so bad. It's so bad and stupid. It's terrible. Also, sorry, like, because humans are people, okay, there we go, and because LGBT people are also humans, anything wrong that happens with humans in general also can happen in the community in a really specific way. And you know, despite being oftentimes built on the back of, well, black people or people of color, other people of color, dang, the LGBT community can be pretty racist. Now, what do I mean when I say that? Gay people or you trans people, they're always no. A congregation of LGBT people sometimes can be very exclusionary and actually like really crazy levels of talking over black queer people, people of color, like it's the talking over that's crazy to me. I'm just like, okay, how huh? We wouldn't even like be here in the way that we are today if not for a lot of people in the community, but then those are the people who are like the least heard or the most marginalized. And I'm just like, dog, we literally have so much work to do. But like, again, we're not a monolith. There's all kinds of inclusive people, and many of us are just black in the first place, or people like, I don't know, dog. It just people, humans. That's the thing about people, is like, you're never a beautiful angel baby. No matter how beautiful, how angel, or how baby you are, you're never a beautiful angel baby. And so that's how I feel about us over here. Like, oh, there's still some people who are very much people. They're so people-y about it. You just wanna stop being such a person. But alas, you can't. You can't. Somebody says, I don't know if I believe in community so much anymore. We're just another group of people. Community takes intention and work. I don't believe in automatic community. That's what I don't believe in. I don't believe in just because we happen to like share something in common that makes us community. Because what happens, I believe, is the influence of outside forces. That sounds conspiratorial, but I'm actually being really honest here. Like, let's say the LGBT community. Okay, so we may all be queer in some way, but if you have like outside community still wants to oppress people within the community, you can pit people against each other. So I don't think it's enough to just automatically slap labels on disparate groups of people. You also have to do a lot of work while you're in a community to maintain it and make it a real thing. As a person within the community, I have to do work listening to other people who I'm not technically in that exact group to make sure that I'm not contributing to their othering. I have to like do work listening to people, other people of like other races. For example, I don't experience every form of racism that exists. There are a lot of them. They're all insidious and pretty terrible. So like, that's maybe one way of being a person of color, for example. Like I think a lot of these really broad level terms, they don't automatically signal community, but they can mean community. You just have to listen and look out for ways in which you're purposely being divided. That's the thing. And also be like specific about words. Like, don't just swoop people into one thing. Like if you are talking, for example, about transgender people or like trans women, say trans women. Like, I think trying to make this like a LGBTQIA plus people, sometimes you got to get more specific. If you're talking about like people of color broadly, that can be fine. But if you're talking about black people, you should just say black people. That way we can all be aware of what everybody within the community needs. We can work together. And it's not like you in service of some umbrella are just kind of like the raindrop that rolls off to the wayside. That's how I feel. Kind of. Someone said there's not enough talk about racism towards Indians. I agree. Actually, I think it's normalized on the, well, okay, me explaining this to you is crazy, right? But like, one reason why I will literally never rock with PewDiePie? I don't think I've ever talked about this, or maybe I did, but it was like several years ago. For context, there's no reason to be performative about it. I used to be a PewDiePie fan. When I was a teenager, I watched him. I had merch. God, there was a period years and years ago where he was posting every single day while I was in school, and I watched him every single day, if I remember correctly. But the levels of racism that PewDiePie displayed, he's like lucky that people think the only thing he did was say the N-word while playing Fortnite or PUBG or whatever that was. That is literally not even scratching the surface of how deeply racist he is. And I think the vast majority of it, so much of it was anti-Indian racism. So much of it. I think like yes, a lot has been said about the PewDiePie N-word incident, but truly there was no sort of wide examination of his deeply disturbing and long-term anti-Indian racism. What happened here was there is a channel, T-Series, and for a period of time, several years ago, they were surpassing him in subscriber count, and what could have been an interesting sort of droll fake beef, him versus like this Indian run company, India's largest music label and music studio, as they describe themselves, turned into him putting out a series of blatantly like anti-Indian songs, statements, really gross stuff. And then later, when he found himself in the same position, I believe, with the channel Coco Melon, he also had a bunch of weird, like Hitler adjacent stuff in there. Let's see. Someone says there's a full video saying the PewDiePie pipeline. Yeah, a PewDiePie pipeline. Okay, yeah. Obviously, people talk about this in more depth than I'm doing, but I'm just going off of memory here. Like, trying to find what exactly. Oh, here we go. What the helly? Motupatu, what the F is that even supposed to mean? Your language sounds like it comes from a mumble rap community. By the way, that's not even the most racist thing in the song. This is also, your language is crazy as well, because unless I'm mistaken, aren't there not like hell languages spoken in India, like many places? Yeah, no, just like blatant stuff that everybody was just singing along to the song. And then the Coco Melon Hitler stuff that I'm trying to remember. Let me see if that actually happened or if I'm just wrong or something. Images. Oh God, I'm not going to be able to find it. Hold on. Coco Melon PewDiePie lyrics. It's my point that I'm trying to make here is like, it's literally not just, it's not just like something happened one time. And you know, even though if it did happen one time, that still wouldn't be enough, or that still would be enough to like write him off. Oh God, this song has so many lyrics, chat. I can't find it. Hold on, give me a second, because I'm literally I'm trying. Oh, here it is. Okay, great. Let's see. Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna find it. And I know I sound like I know I sound stupid, but I swear to God, there was also a bunch of weird dog whistles in his Coco Melon stuff too. If you can't tell, I haven't kept up with PewDiePie in a very long time. So if I'm wrong about this specifically, sorry. I don't mean to get things wrong, but like, dude, he's just an absolute weirdo. Also, wait. I remember what it was. I actually just remembered what it was. So sad as a Bollywood family, my fellow South Asians alone. Yeah, no, like the largest YouTube channel at the time doing this is just no. PewDiePie's second T-Series song. Now do you see why I literally Google everything before talking about it? Because if I have to Google it live on stream, it takes literally forever. Okay, so the second song I was thinking about was actually Congratulations, maybe, by PewDiePie, Rumi, and Boy in a Band. Okay, found it. Congratulations to your corporation. I guess to beat one Swedish boy, you need 1 billion Asians. Yeah, you did it very nice. And all it took was a massive corporate entity with every song in Bollywood, etc., 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 etc. I love my Indian bros from Bombay to Bangladesh. I'll take on all the world for you. I'm a heavy Hitler. I'm about to cause a genocide, so you can call me Does somebody want to explain how the largest YouTuber in a song said, referenced Indian people, and then said, I'm going to cause a genocide, and then made a Hitler? That's not like, how's that a joke? He just literally says he's going to cause a genocide and then calls himself Hitler. Somebody said what? Yeah, I know that it sounds like this level of like deeply disturbing anti-Indian racism can't possibly just be sitting on the platform. Yeah, it is. I guess it might not be on this channel right now. Oh no, it is. It totally is. Yeah. Doug, you got 250 million views in a song in which you're quote unquote joking about genocide against Indian people. So yes, that's a pretty bad one. And then also like in general, he just doesn't really take any of the criticisms against him seriously, obviously, because why would you make this joke after you were already told that what you did was bad? And Someone said, how is it still up? They're going to tell you it was a different time. Clearly it was a different time in that you could get away with it, but clearly it wasn't a different time in that this has always been unhinged rhetoric. What am I trying to think of right now? It's the, I'm doing so well with this, but now it's escaping my mind. Oh, I know what I was trying to say. The initial thing that PewDiePie got in trouble with, he had like ties to Disney, and then they dropped him because the initial thing that he did was so bad, obviously. And then he spun this into, oh, the Wall Street Journal's attacking me, and guys, it was just a joke, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, but the initial thing that he did is literally crazy. I can't. I can't like fix this. Okay, here we go. Archive dot is da 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 da. So he was 27 at that time. My age, by the way, and yeah, millions of people have watched the January 11th video by YouTube's biggest star that included two men laughing as they held a banner that read "Death to all Jews." By the way, this actually pointed out, since August, PewDiePie has posted 9 videos that included anti-Semitic jokes or Nazi imagery, which, yes, this is true. PewDiePie fans will tell you this is not true. It is true. He took down videos, etc. But the reason that these guys are holding the sign is because he paid them to do this. It was like a Fiverr video, and he was trying to see what he could like get away with, essentially. Like, what will people in Fiverr do? So he paid $5 for other people to record a video of them holding a sign that said "Death to all Jews," and then later went on to make his genocide jokes about Hitler and stuff like that. He's like obviously a Nazi, to the point where if you like dare try to tell me that he's not, I'm just gonna say, please stop talking. Shh. You got manipulated as a younger person, and that's okay, but you're wrong on this one. This is all like really, really disturbing stuff. Comedy has no place in this discussion. That's not what was happening. There is no joke. There is no punchline. It's not me having an issue with the humor style. But yeah, he was pretty good at downplaying it, and to his audience made it sound at the time like, oh guys, I did one regrettable thing in a video, and then the Wall Street Journal was trying to make me seem like a Nazi. What? Oh my God. And then like trying to zoom out, and then like later PewDiePie bridge incident is like appallingly not good enough apology for, here we go, my response, saying what an effing n-word hard R 8 years ago during a battle, or during playing a game of PUBG or whatever. What happened, and you can see it very clearly in that clip. It happens when you're streaming. It happens to me sometimes. You forget that you're streaming. You just kind of feel like you're just talking to people. And he's just like, da, 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 da. Someone messes him up in the game, and he's just like, well, what an effing n-word hard R. Okay. Dog, this is just how he talks. This is literally just who he is. He's just on camera constantly, like always telling you what his mindset is, who he is, etc. And so I feel like his like PR game of making this all sound like actually he was the one being attacked, which is also Nazi stuff, by the way, was very successful, obviously, which is why to this day, were you to go to his channel, here he is chilling with his kids in Japan. Yes, love it. And all the comments will just be like, yeah, happy, NordVPN sponsorship. This is great. But yeah, he's definitely one of the more egregiously awful racist people who normalized a lot of anti-Semitic stuff, anti-Indian racism, and provided people with a bunch of excuses to make it seem like none of this was actually that big of a deal. It's just YouTube. So, and I was in his fan base. I had to unpack all of this. I did believe him. Doesn't that make me sound like just an absolute idiot? I can't. I that's the one part of the story I can't change. I can't change the part of the story where 10 years ago these things are happening, and I myself was thinking like, yeah, he's right. Yeah, these are just YouTube videos, because you're watching content and like 95% of it you're thinking is not bad, and so when bad things happen, you just eat it up. So bad, actually. I don't know. Is it cringe for me to say like I feel like I was manipulated? Like, is that too cringe? I was a teenager. I feel like he manipulated me, but I was also old enough to make my own decisions, and so I did. I gave away that PewDiePie merch. I stopped wearing it publicly, especially, and anytime I get, I'm like, I can tell you the story of how I used to be one of those horrible people in his fan base, just excusing all of this. I can't believe that. What an idiot. So stupid. God, that might be one of the things that like I'm just the maddest about, because I literally consider myself to be like not an idiot. I don't think I'm smarter than other people, but clearly when push comes to shove, cognitive dissonance, everybody is equally susceptible to it, and that will forever be me. If you ever wonder too why I try to be so careful about the things that I talk about and the things that I'm normalizing or spreading on this channel, it's just because like, yeah, at one point I was somebody who would have easily said, oh, this is overblown, this is taken out of context. God, so bad. Someone said I used to watch Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star. Okay, you know what though? Let's talk about it. How old is PewDiePie? How old do he be? PewDiePie age. Yeah, okay. You're 36. I'm only 27. Yeah, I stuck the word only in front of 27. He groomed me. I'm just gonna... That's how I feel. I was a teenager. I wasn't a minor the entire time, but I was a kid. And honestly, I was groomed by PewDiePie's rhetoric. I still had personal responsibility for all the pretty awful stuff I did, like supporting him monetarily and continuing to make excuses for him at that time, all of which I have tried to push back against a little bit. But actually, PewDiePie is just a crazy groomer, and that's what I think happened to me when I was younger. So that's how I feel about a lot of people who like are like, yeah, I watched Shane Dawson. Well, Shane Dawson was literally grooming his audience. So yeah, I'm not gonna blame the person you are today, even if you were consuming things that were racist. Literally, if you're being misled by these people who are older than you with the intention of normalizing this stuff, it's kind of hard to be completely rational about this stuff. It's so bad. It's so bad. Someone said, I don't think we should judge ourselves for the stuff we watch as a kid. We should judge ourselves by how we have changed and try to be better. I guess I will forever consider myself the same person who at one point would have excused this. And because of this, I know I forever have to be the kind of person who will never let this happen again. At least not in front of me. I will say something, but yeah, no, like, God, what a terrible human being to be the most popular person on YouTube. And the same thing applies to Shane Dawson, who was also one of the most popular people on YouTube. It's okay. Someone said I used to watch Onision. Okay, that's pretty scary, because that in and of itself, now you're getting into like, oh God, he was like so destructive, because he was doing like, sorry, I don't even want to say it aloud because it just sounds crazy, but he was sexually grooming his child audience on purpose, on purpose. That is like maybe the worst thing about, well, no, there is no worst thing about Onision. Everything about this person is bad. He's literally one of the worst people on the platform. But surely one of the worst things was him intentionally over a long period of time just like sexually grooming like a bunch of kids that he knew were in his audience. Oh man. Oh god. Someone said his video on black woman's hair was such rage bait. Oh yeah, throw in the racist rage bait and all of that too. He did it all, the whole 9 yards, and also broke a bunch of laws and abused a bunch of people and caused a bunch of environmental destruction. I don't think people talk about that enough. Onision destroying wetlands or whatever it was that were like in his backyard. But yeah, no, like, how were these some of the most popular people on YouTube? To be fair, Onision was always kind of irrelevant compared to, say, a Shane Dawson or a PewDiePie, but still, he did have a pretty ginormous fan base. So bad. Someone said he looks like darkness personified. He looks very like, he's very contrived. That's the weirdest thing about Onision. If you ever sit through any of his content, which you shouldn't do, he talks in this really specific, weird way that is clearly not normal. And I'm not even trying to do this thing where like, oh, people who don't talk in a typical way should be. No, he is intentionally putting on this really off-putting act. It kind of results in the only people being left in his audience are people who are like not maybe seeing through. Dog, it's just weird. But yeah, I certainly don't blame anybody who was in Onision's audience in the beginning, because how can you literally control that when you're just a child who probably should have a closer grip on their internet access? Alas. Someone said I was a Logan Paul fan and I bought merch. I was crazy. A lot of us were Logan Paul fans. A lot of us were. And I know there's also going to be people in my chat who were like, I was never in anybody's fan base. Well, some of you may be young, or some of you may be a bit older, or you may be my age, and maybe you never were, but like, it wasn't always because people were moving through life trying to be the worst possible human beings. But yeah, all of these are ice cold takes. PewDiePie's a Nazi. That's not. In the year of our Lord 2026, I would certainly hope that we don't have to dance around that particular verbiage. Some of the most problematic YouTube I watched was Leafy was here. Oh God, yeah, no. Oh, bad human. Bad human alert. Oh no. Bad human alert, dog. Someone said I was a huge fan of the Vlog Squad. Well, okay. To be fair, David Dobrik was a lot less obviously. What is this picture? That's not him. Anyways, David Dobrik was a lot less obviously terrible than. Wait, is that him? That's crazy. Anyways, David Dobrik was. Okay, I shouldn't be stuck on this. This does not matter at all. Why does it look so like photoshopped? That's wild. Okay. Something about that is off. What I was trying to say, David Dobrik was not as obviously terrible as these other people. I think the Vlog Squad was kind of easy to just watch casually. You weren't getting like actual dog whistles in their content on the same level that you were from PewDiePie or Onision, like red flags of grooming and stuff. David Dobrik happened to be terrible for a bunch of reasons that were mostly behind the scenes ish. Someone said, I don't know who this guy is. Yeah, because he got run off the platform and ran over to TikTok, which actually a lot of quote unquote canceled influencers do. Is he still here? Oh, of course he's back, obviously. But in his time when he was gone, he was over on TikTok posting like, or Snapchat. He was also on Snapchat, I think, just trying to make hella money off platform, which was working for him, where nobody would actually have any sort of lengthy conversations about the things he was criticized over. It's just mess, dude. It's absolute mess. Someone said Snapchat. Yeah, I only just remembered he was on Snapchat as well. But yeah, no, like, screw these people, dog. Like, no, absolutely not. Also, this is why I have a big soft spot in my heart for content that is just okay. I I think a lot of people get really mad at the idea of like harmless content or things that are like not that deep or stuff like that. But I actually think in an internet in which the biggest players are putting out some of the most harmful and manipulative stuff to mislead literally a new generation of content creators, anybody who posts content that is just okay is actually making the platform better. I think you are so important if you are making anything that is not hate or like problematic or hiding things or protecting people who don't deserve it. Like you could be, I don't even know, dog. You could literally be making content playing old Nintendo DS games. You are more valuable to this ecosystem than you could possibly imagine. Possibly imagine. Oh my gosh. Anyways, with that being said, I don't even know what else to say. I'm kind of stuck. I'm kind of stuck on the one picture. I'm still stuck on the one picture. Dog, this is not a real picture. It's not a real picture. I think the issue is like maybe he does look like this in real life, but they photoshopped the picture as well to push him into a level where it just looks like David Dobrik's head photoshopped on some guy. It's the dumbest thing ever. Anyways, that's not necessary. Watch me have an entire conversation about bigotry and the normalization of and people being low-key groomed or high-key groomed by like bigoted content or even like things that were sexually inappropriate for minors. And then my biggest takeaway is just why does David Dobrik look like that in this one picture? I do take things seriously, I swear to God. But also I get stuck on things, and that's just how my brain works. That's just how my brain works. Someone said the only safe and wholesome environment I found on YouTube is the ASMR community, except it's currently being taken over by AI. What? What even is AI ASMR? That doesn't even make like I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm literally failing to comprehend what that even means. What is AI ASMR content? That sounds terrible. Like, at least, even though I think the other forms of content are bad, I understand why someone would AI generate a commentary video or a video essay, but like AI ASMR? Yikes. Someone said, y'all ever watch D'Angelo Wallace? Been watching him for years. Kind of cool guy. D'Angelo Wallace is the worst one out of all of these people. Are you kidding? D'Angelo Wallace is the type of YouTuber I see him in the street. It's over. It's over. I catch you in the street. It's on site. It's on site. I have so many issues with this particular dude. What you mean? Don't even mention that name, that particular name in this chat. It's a no for me, dog. Y'all should stay away. You can watch anybody on this platform. I will not try to dictate. I will not try to dictate your viewing habits, but nobody should be watching D'Angelo Wallace videos. He been canceled. Someone said decancel. Decancel Wallace. Decancel Wallace has been over. That's the moral of this story. Decancel Wallace has been over. He's been done. It's over, dog. It's over. Someone said, why are we talking about D'Angelo Wallace? Like they didn't find human remains in his home in 2012. D'Angelo literally cut a deal. He cut a deal with Neil Mohan. A lot of y'all don't know this. Y'all don't realize the depths of depravity that your favorite channels go to. He cut a deal with the CEO of YouTube that every time somebody makes a video about AI Fruit Love Island, I get money off of that. I mean, D'Angelo gets money off of that. So if you've ever been like, why all the AI Fruit Love Island videos? He did this to the platform. He did this. AI Fruit Love Island. Look at this. Fruit Love Island, Fruit Story, Jarvis, Noel Miller, all this, the compilations, it don't matter what it is, Anna Marie, all of these people work under the deal, the conditions, our terms and conditions, not ours, his. So that's the main problem with D'Angelo Wallace. Solely responsible for AI Fruit Love Island content, And I think that that's enough to cancel off the bat. Anyways, with that being said, bye everybody. Goodbye. Someone said look in the mirror. Never. This introspection, self-reflection. I'd rather die. Anyways, bye everybody. It was good talking to you. All right. Let's see.